I'm gonna let the music play for this for real quick. Chat, I'm just saying, I just want to let it 149 episodes and we still managed to somehow fuck all this shit up and still not get it right. What is going on, everybody? We are the Pre-Patch Podcast. And I just decided not to do an intro screen. We're just gonna go straight into the fucking show. You're gonna get the cameras. Tony's over there eating and drinking chips like it's a goddamn, like he's at a Mexican restaurant.
On this time.
Yeah, right. I know.
Usually we're still dressing.
Thank God. I mean, Bill was over here streaking around butt ass naked, shaving buttholes and stuff. It was crazy. So
yeah, man, hobo ass everywhere. It's
hobo
crazy.
ass everywhere. Why is my camera doing it? My camera's like just wanting to like not be where it needs to be. So I'll just slump over like this, like a fucking old Jew. It's fine.
You got nobody to blame but yourself on that one, brother.
What? My camera being off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and being forgive me.
Not being a Jew, bro. Okay, all right. Just, okay. I mean, I can't. Yeah, I'm the only person. I mean, unless there's like somebody else I can talk to. I don't know. Maybe I can go talk to Elon Musk about that when he can doge my Jewness away. I guess. Who knows?
Doge the Jewness.
Yeah, doge the Jewness away. What is going on?
Anyways,
everybody, we are the Pre-Patch Podcast, and this is episode 149. And do not be surprised if at like midnight our time Eastern, so like an hour and a half, like we cut the show 30 minutes early because Enigma is chomping at the bit to go play Monster Hunter Wilds. We only do this for 2 games. We do it for Monster Hunter Wilds. We do it for Cyberpunk. And we're just gonna make him stew. You're gonna watch.
In both fucking times they landed on a goddamn podcast day.
Bro, we do the show on Thursdays. Games release on Friday. What do you think is going to happen? So, but yeah. Well, so this is kind of a, chat, you guys got a double episode, right? Almost. You guys had one last week, and now you're getting another one this week. And we've got the full crew here. We've got Enigma right above me, and Enigma, I'm tickling your, I guess, armpit. I guess that's what I'm tickling right now. So
Tickle his nip. Yeah.
Tickle his nip.
Give a little pinch.
Just going just, bro, that's somebody is gonna fucking turn that into something I don't want. That's gonna be on the internet.
That's good.
That's great. But yeah, we've got Enigma. Do you want to know something, dude? I almost wore a shirt almost that exact same color. We almost did it again.
Right?
We almost did it again.
We almost did it again.
Yeah.
I got the hat today.
You got the hat. You got the hat. You got the hat.
Sure.
We didn't match
making
up.
Sure, we were almost matching.
Yeah. But and we've got Scruffy right above him. Go ahead and tickle Scruffy a little bit.
Yeah, give me a little something. What's going on?
All right. And right beside Scruffy's Tony. You gonna go tickle Tony? You're tickling your monitor. You're not even anywhere close. Tony gets no tickles. All right, Tony, can you tickle Bill? That's the question.
Hold on. I gotta reach both.
Oh, he's tickling both. He's doing
I gotta touch both.
Bro, he's ski poling it, guys. He's ski poling it.
Yeah. They don't want to get closer. That's fine.
All right. Well, what is going on, everybody, over in the internet land? If you're new
Bill
to the
as well, you forgot fucking Bill.
I said tickle Bill. That's right. I'm sorry, Bill. You got to tickle Tony now, or tickle the person beside you. I don't know. Where's Britt? Go tickle Britt.
She wouldn't like that.
No.
You just see a hand Bill just get slapped out of him off camera. All right. Well, anyway, welcome in. Like I said, episode 149. Could be a good show. We've got a lot of new games to talk about. Some demos. If you were over on the podcast channel on YouTube, which I do recommend if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go over there, subscribe. We've got some new content coming out, but also, we played some new demos over there, myself and Enigma and Scruffy. Some of the Steam Next Fest demos we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Avowed, even though I don't have footage, unfortunately, but we're going to talk about that. We've got some other stuff, other games, all these news, layoffs, it's the norm. So, but before we get into that, I do want to ask, one of the things that I thought about and listened to other shows is, we don't really talk too much about our normal lives. Like, how has your guys' weeks been? What did you guys do? Anything fun? Did you enjoy anything? Do anything cool?
No, not fun. Only work.
Just
waiting for fucking Monster Hunter Wilds. That's about it.
I'm not gonna flex. That's kind of depressing for real, but he's not wrong.
Bill's just like, no, only work only. Oh
I mean,
man,
he's not wrong. It's just been work and
I
watching.
go to the gym now and work in gym.
that's
it.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I'll
think.
play it.
Good.
I'll try to play some Monster Hunter in the morning, maybe.
Yeah.
Since over here acting like we don't all have fucking full-time jobs outside of this.
Oh, I
Well,
mean,
you guys do, I should say. I don't.
What do you
But
do?
guys do.
What do you-
He's about to have a full-time
I go,
job
I
playing
go and
Monster
get
Hunter.
stabbed by doctors, so that's what I do
you
on
go
a
to the
daily basis.
chiropractor.
yeah. No, trust me.
I'm disappointed he's not getting the disc though.
I
For how
am.
much he-
I
He's a
am.
fan.
I am on that same now. That I'm gonna tell you something. When you have worked on West Coast time for fucking years, and then your time shifts to now having to get up at like 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, or whatever else, that shit sucks. It fucking blows. And yeah, so I'm trying to figure out my video game time because it has been cut short, for sure. So, but all right, well, cool. You guys have any good plans for the weekend?
Monster Hunter Wilds.
Work.
All right, Bill. All right, man. Can we get a GoFundMe to get Bill some fun, please?
Oh, that was funny.
get a vacation.
Fucking Christ.
Oh man.
All right. Well, okay. Well, you know what? I tried to make small talk. Fuck you guys. I don't want to do small talk anymore. We're going to go in and we're going to start talking about some fucking video games. So, Scruffy, I'm going to let you kick it off because you were playing a game called what is this game called? I don't even know.
Carry the glass.
Carry the glass.
Carry the glass. Yeah. This is a game in a genre that I just learned has a title called Rage Bait games. If you're not familiar, it's been around for a while. Kind of blew up with like the Bennett Foddy, what was it? Getting Over It.
Yeah, getting over it.
Jump King.
Difficult game about climbing.
Yeah, and then the new ones being like chained together, and then this one Carry the Glass. It's a co-op game where it's just you and your buddy. You're some construction workers carrying a plane of glass up a skyscraper through like what's that one game that you played somewhere? You were that kid jumping through like the sky or whatever.
Oh, the NFT game that everybody got pissed off about.
Yeah,
climbing up or going up or whatever.
Going up or whatever. It's very familiar to that. You're like climbing through stuff in the sky, but you have to like not break this plane of glass, and it's like very fragile. You know, any just little nick you do on a corner, it'll shatter. So it's frustrating, but it wasn't the hardest like game in the genre. Like we beat it within like 3 hours, but it felt rewarding still. Like it was just a fun little like kind of gimmick game. So I mean, not much to really say about it other than like it will frustrate you, but at the same time, like you just kind of fuck around. Nate kept slipping. I was like, dude. He was like, Nate, my buddy I was playing with, he's like, dude, they gotta be like layering this stuff with oil or whatever. I'm like, dude, they be putting that Diddy oil all over.
Oh my god,
the
Diddy oil.
The Diddy oil.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I
Legitimately-
will play this. I will play this.
Legitimately, just reminds me of what I did for work previously.
Yeah, when you're in this.
You had to go through an obstacle
only
course holding a
instead of-
pane of glass.
I mean,
What kind of
sometimes,
fucking job did
instead
you
of
have?
Instead of glass, it was a fucking wall bed and fucking cabinetry. Yeah, for
now
sure.
it
Damn,
makes
you guys
sense why
popped
you
that.
broke your back.
Y'all pop
Yup.
that shit out there whenever you get low. Holy hell.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you throw it back.
That is not proper lifting
I
material.
definitely
Like
have to
lifting
play
technique. by the way.
technique.
Yeah, no, not at all. That's how I fucked my back right there. Yeah.
Yeah, but Sin, I'll play it with you, man. If you want to play through it, like I said, it's real fast. It's a one-off
You're
game. Like it's
moving,
not
bro.
like the
Holy
others.
fuck.
Like honestly, we need to get 4 of us to all get on and play Chain together. Like I think that would just be so much fun to do.
I agree. It will be fun until it's not. Until we're all yelling.
Well,
at
I mean,
each other.
yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, that's gonna happen. You'll see that we started yelling at Sid within 15 minutes of playing fucking Roadcraft later on.
I think I'm gonna play this with the wife so I can cause an
Yeah,
internal argument. 'Cause that's
it's a
exactly what's gonna
fun.
happen.
Exactly. It's a fun little co-op game, one-off time, just like fuck around and you're good, man. Like that's all it is. It's $5 on Steam, so
That's good.
it's
That's
carry
not
the
bad.
glass, man.
So
Not bad.
here's my question is what the fuck? How is it playing with that controller or that mouse that you've got? Because I can tell you right now, if we were playing this game and you fucked up, which I'm assuming is you're blue, so I would have yelled at you. I'd be like, God damn it, switch off that fucking stupid controller.
Dude, I was carrying that shit, man. I was carrying the game. No, it's like any other game. It takes getting used to, but like once you like get used to it, it's honestly becomes like pretty easy.
The way your ass scoots in this game is weird.
Just
I noticed when you jump, your
the
your
center of
ass
gravity.
just all the way. Yeah, your ass just pokes out.
just
like-
throwing it back, bro. I just hear I just hear mystical shake the ass. You know,
Right.
so that's for all my my 90s babies. So that's cool. All right. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, again, I know this genre is gotten a lot very popular, you know, which is weird.
It's a content farming genre. It's very content farming.
Well, that's what I say.
That's what
it's so weird that it's gotten so popular now because, you know, Getting Over It's been out forever. I mean, that game's been out for a long time, you know, and not saying that Getting Over It wasn't popular, but it's just, you know, this
it was more niche than it was.
And again, it's not like streaming wasn't around with Getting Over It. You know, I mean, I remember when Getting Over It had its heyday on Twitch, but it just never became popular. So
Getting Over It wasn't even the first one though. I think Jump King was the first Rage.
I don't know. They were around the same time. I can't remember.
Well, no, what was that? The Quap, right? I think Quap was
original.
The
Quap
original.
Was like
that's
addicting games almost.
Yeah, like that was a Flash game.
Yeah, that was a Flash.
Way back.
Getting Over It released before Jump King. I didn't know that. Yeah, Jump King is the one that I always see fucking people playing because it's fucking infuriating.
I don't know. There was another one I really enjoyed, like Pogo Hop or Pogo Stick.
Oh, dude, that Pogo. You know about Pogo Stuck, bro? I hated that fucking Pogo Stuck
I
bullshit.
love that game, dude.
So,
yeah,
actually, the original Rage Bay game. You remember those old fucking Flash games? I think that's the one you're talking about. The
Impossible Quiz
or whatever. The one where you had to make the guy fucking.
That's Quap.
Yeah,
that's Quap.
Yep.
That's Quap. And before that, it was just WoW. WoW was the original Rage. Was the Rage Big game. So
yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, yeah. So this is what is this called again?
Carry the Glass.
Carry the Glass. You can get it on Steam for $5.
If you look at the screen, it's pretty much what it is.
What? Oh. I thought I was like, oh, you were telling me to look at the screen like I was an asshole. I'm like, I don't see a fucking title anywhere. But okay, I get it. All right.
It's
Bro, we're in rare form tonight. I can tell you that right now. We are in rare form. All right, Tony, you're up next. You played a game that it's been out. Darkest Dungeon 2 has been out for a bit, right? Like I don't think it's
a couple years at least.
Anything new ish, but okay, you want to hit the button? There we go.
It's been out for 2 years. It came out May 8th, 2023.
Yeah. Now, did you ever play the first Darkest Dungeon?
Never played the first Darkest Dungeon. I got into this because a buddy of mine was telling me, he was just like, oh, you like turn-based combat? Try this. He's like, and I know you like difficult games. I was like, it's not gonna be that bad. Listen, I love this game, but fuck this game at the same time. This game is very frustrating, and the only reason I say that is when you first start, this game was. Let's back up first. First, this game was made by Red Hook Studios. I will give you guys credit. You made an incredible title with this. I really enjoy it. My only issue is the grind is very hard. The grind is very hard, especially at the very beginning, because it's almost like you're building to. It's basically a roguelike. You're building to get your characters.
It is a roguelike.
Better equipment.
It's not basically right. It is a roguelike.
It's a roguelike, but a roguelike, a turn-based strategy roguelike. But with that being said, you take these characters, you build them up, you get them where they need to be in order to get further and further and further. I'm still on the first chapter, and I've been playing for maybe 3 or 4 days now. It's an actually really difficult game to kind of understand. The only things that I didn't like about this title was the fact of they don't do a really good job of explaining certain aspects of like positioning, like resistances and stuff like that. And that may be on me because I never played the first one.
Yeah, it's a lot. The first one. So I've never played the second one. I have played the first one. I know Enigma, out of all of us, has played probably the most of the first one, I believe. But yeah, they rely pretty heavily for you to have played the first one before jumping into this.
No,
one.
to understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's really not much else to the game. Rinse, repeat, constantly go back in. You get different characters depending on how many candles you use to unlock the characters. There's DLC as well. I can't really talk much else other than just rinse, repeat. It's the same stuff. It's a good game in my opinion, especially for just $40. Like I mean, you get it on sale too. Wait for it.
I think I picked it up on sale for like 19 the other day. It was on sale
like
during
20 and 25.
I still haven't played it. Coming from the first original one, I know that a lot of people were not happy about it because when it first released, it changed so much. Yeah, there was huge, significant gameplay changes that were changed. A lot of people were pissed off about it. A lot of people liked the new roguelike elements, which I will give. I will give them. The new roguelike elements are nice, but as well as the deeper like character customization and development and everything like that. But a lot of people miss that original like town management that you had in Darkest Dungeon 1, which was a huge fucking thing that the entire community really enjoyed, as well as like hero flexibility and stuff. I don't know if they've changed that. So you
and they
again,
updated the game
if you haven't
put
played
a different
it,
mode in there. They put a different mode in there that they said will cater to the people who played the first.
Okay,
one. I didn't play that second mode
good.
yet. That could be different. But
that was the biggest complaint that I had, and that's the really biggest reason. On top of the fact that they went fucking Epic exclusive for a long time on the second one, it was like Epic exclusive for the first year and a half or something like that. But yeah, a lot of people were not happy about it.
By the way, do you think that's done? Like, you haven't really heard of anybody doing Epic exclusive anymore.
I think so.
You know, so okay. Well, yeah, this part.
That's another conversation for another time.
Yeah. We're talking, but this is what's very different than the first one, because like this, you didn't have this like cart carried like road thing.
You'll be doing this a lot.
And anytime you were between like runs, you went back to town and you were doing like town management rather than like inside of a carriage.
In between runs here, you go to the inn and you can actually upgrade, get trinkets, items, and stuff like that to put on your characters just to move to the next area. Now, you can choose to stop and collect all of the hope candles that you have and upgrade and update your characters and everything else at the very beginning, basically rinse and repeating again. But if you quit, you won't get as many. But if you keep going, you can potentially update and upgrade more of your characters with more of the equipment and stuff that you get as you play.
Now, when you're playing characters, like the one of the bigger like popularity things for Darkest Dungeon 1 was like when a character died, you were able to like recruit a new character and you could like rename it. Do they still have that situation?
Oh no! Once your character dies, that's it. That's
well, no,
that was without the
that was the same thing, but you can't like recruit a new character to refill the position.
No, you can't recruit a new character unless there's something I'm missing and I ain't get far enough yet. Once that character dies, you have to keep going without a fourth character. You just have 3, and you have to play and complete. There's
like
no way
once you go back to town, there's no way to get another character, like another.
I have never been able to bring another character back in.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, the first one, the whole reason why it was like a roguelike on the first one was like, you know, if your people died during a run or they had an insanity, like a sanity metric type of deal going on, you would have to like leave people behind. Yeah.
If you see those little bars below that's their stress level. They do stress levels.
Okay, so they still have the stress. Like, do they still have like the effects that stress gets? Like, can you get
so if you stress out, right? You got trinkets. You got the items, the combat items that you take in. If your stress level gets too high, your character has a meltdown or a mental breakdown. And let's say, for instance, they have a full bar of health and their stress level. So you're not just managing trying to kill other enemies. You're managing your stress too. If they stress out in the middle of a fight and they got a full bar of health, their whole bar goes to like just this much, and then afterwards, like now you got to heal them. Now, let's say for instance that they don't stress out. They get all of the stress bar full, and it's basically like it's almost like Baldur's Gate, like a D&D roll. If the roll's bad, you get stressed out. If the roll's good, you get hopeful, and then your health bar will fill all the way up, and then you can continue to fight. But more times out of not, you're gonna roll a fucked up roll, and your person is gonna stress themselves out and then either die. A lot of the characters or enemies in this game have like abilities not to die out immediately. So let's say you get them their health bar all the way down, they have a actual like death's door that allows them a token for like a hit or two, a free hit or two. And it's just annoying sometimes because certain characters, due to their placement, can only do certain things. Like certain abilities will only reach the back line, or certain abilities will only reach the front. And then you have to be able to place these. It's not just, oh, I'm going to use this ability to hit this guy. You have to make sure that your character's in the right spot to use that ability, because if not, they won't be able to use it. Then if you move your character, they might get stressed. There's a lot of
do they still have the afflictions and the heroic bonuses for stress? Like occasionally you'll get like, if you're too stressed, you'll get like a masochist. Like one of the big ones from the first one was they become masochists and they actually heal from taking damage.
The thing is so crazy that if your character gets too stressed, let's say for instance, like, so when you're actually on the road in this carriage, sometimes your characters will cohabitate, be talking while they're on the road.
Yeah,
those talks could either go bad, they could be positive, they could be negative. If they're negative and your characters butt heads too much and they stress each other out, let's say for instance one of the characters goes into swing. Once the character goes into swing, let's say he uses an ability that goes into swing, your other character will stab your friend in the back and cause damage to him because he's stressed out. And
so that's Sim. That's the Sim character. Got okay.
That's 100% yeah.
So I think they did really well with this. If you have the chance, check out Darkest Dungeon 2. What I will say though is if you don't like difficult games, or if you want to challenge, buy the game. If you don't like difficult games, do not buy this. It will stress you out. Just
I mean, I think
out of game and in game.
What I would say about this is that I would recommend probably, because the first one you could probably get for cheap now because the second one's out, is try the first one just so that you can understand a lot of the mechanics, because a lot of the core mechanics kind of stayed the same from what I can tell. Like there are some definite changes like you guys, Enigma and was talking about, but because like this element here is almost very much of like Slay the Spire or Monster Train and all that kind of stuff, where you can choose the path that you want to go on, leading to another loot and all this other kind of stuff. So but I would definitely try it. I mean, again, like Tony's saying, I mean, the game is definitely fun, but it is not, don't get tricked into just thinking that it is just a fucking turn-based game.
Thinking you're gonna just jump in and just beat this shit to hell. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So, well, cool. Well, that was Darkest Dungeon 2. This looks like, so we are taking the footage from the devs themselves, Red Hook Studios. This looks like it's talking about the Binding Blade DLC, which that was from about a year ago. I guess they've had new DLCs come out and all that kind of stuff. Is it on sale right now, or what's the price for it?
No, it's not on sale right now on Steam. It's $40 on Steam, but I advise everybody to just wait and let it get a discount on it. You can
definitely go for the first.
Yeah,
play the first one. I would say, yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, we're moving on now to a game that myself, Enigma, and Scruffy played. Pika got one of our members, played with us for tried to play with this, I think, but we could not find a
2.5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, no, we did find a game, then the game crashed. So we'll talk about it as we talk about the game. But it's called Fellowship. It is on Steam Next Fest that you can go and download right now and play the demo for. And this is an interesting game for sure. I definitely went to a space that had the fucking game footage. There we go. So let's I guess to give you kind of an overall what Fellowship is, this is on their site it's called an MMO, but they took out one of the M's, so it's just a MO, like with dungeons, essentially. So the best way of thinking about it is that it literally is an MMO, but you are just doing dungeon run. And they took out all like the other questing, all of the other kind of side elements. And when you're looking at it, it definitely looks like an MMO, but essentially you have your holy trinity of tank, healer, DPS. It is a 4-person dungeon run. You go in, you run a dungeon, and you get loot, and then it progressively gets harder as you continue to advance. So like Mythic Plus style dungeons, greater rifts if you're familiar with Diablo, and so on. So yeah, I mean, again, myself, Enigma, and Scruffy all played. I mean, what was your kind of your guys' thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think my biggest complaint of the entire thing, and we talked about it for pretty much that entire stream, was just like they're right now they only have 2-2-2, right? They only have 2 tanks to play, they only have 2 DPS to play, and they only have 2 healers to play. And if that's how they're gonna fucking release, that's gonna be rough. Like
Yeah.
it felt good for a demo, and I could deal with it for a demo, only having 2 of each characters. But they need to have more characters in general, just across the board, before they release. Like that can't be the state that they release in. Other than that, I think that like the bones behind it were good. I had a lot of fun with it. It brought me back to old dungeon runs in World of Warcraft and FF14 pretty much. So
Yeah.
I think they did a good job with it.
And you were playing the healer.
Yeah, I don't know. I was playing the healer. Yeah, I played both of the healers. They both felt good. The one dude, the little dwarf guy, felt like a priest from WoW. He had like really big hitting single target, big heals, and then he had one giant like AoE heal. He felt very much, like I said, like a priest. And then the other character was like I almost want to say like a druid, but if you've played League of Legends, they kind of mixed like the druid from World of Warcraft with Zyra from League of Legends. So she does a lot of like heal over time hots, right? But her DPS is based off of these plants that she puts down, and then they send out little, single target damage shots the entire time. And then once they expire, basically, they leave behind little shrooms. And then you can also do a big attack with all the shrooms. So you kind of have a build spend type of situation with her. So you're building your shrooms and then you're spending them on either healing or on damage. And if you spend them on damage and you have a ton of a ton of shrooms, they do a ton of damage. Like it's an AoE field too. So it's like you hit one, you're hitting everything for like 300, 400, 500 plus damage. It was a ton. I was impressed with that. So, but yeah, I played the healer. I thought it was good enough. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Now, Scruff, you were playing DPS, and I really want to ask you a couple questions and really kind of get how you felt about DPS, because one of the crazy things and why we were saying like we tried to plan a game with Pika for a little while was that we were having problems queuing because I was tank, Scruff was DPS, Enigma was healer, and if you are an MMO fan at all, then you know that. Instant queues when you have a tank and you have a healer. That was not the case.
DPS is the hot roll.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know if it was a hot roll or if it was just a bug. I have no.
Typically, DPS is a hot roll. In this game, it didn't seem that way.
I looked on the forums and stuff like that, and that's everybody was saying the same thing. Like everybody was like, DPS is insta queues. And it's reversed.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I mean, I feel like I didn't have the best hands-on experience with this, and I think it's because I did roll DPS on it. I played both of the DPS classes they have right now, like Enigma said, only 2. One of them being a like Frost Mage, and the other being kind of like this hammer, 2-wield hammer, kind of berserker dude. Yeah. And both of the classes just really did not speak to me. The mage class, while dished out good amounts of DPS, just felt very samey. A lot of their abilities just like didn't really have much like difference to it. It was very easy. I mean, they have like a ranking system of like 1-star to 5-star difficulty class. It was a 1-star, very much felt like a 1-star, but still there wasn't much variety in it. So I was just bored playing it. It was just, I was just spamming the same things and I was like, all right, what's next? I go on to play the hammer wielding guy, the berserker, and while he had a bit more going for him, he was considered a 4-star. You know, it was a bit more interactive. You had to time your attacks with certain, some games have that reload cue where you have to hit that mark to reload your gun perfectly. Well, he had that with his hammer to swing it. If you hit it on the mark, it would dish out an extra like critical hit or something. So that was kind of cool. You know, it gave it a bit more to it. He also had some like differing moves, like upon missing or enemy dodging your attack, you would dish out a critical hit. I was like, that's interesting, but sure, fuck it. Had some spin away moves. He had more to him, more variety. The only thing he lacked was DPS. He was slow. I mean, we're in our last raid that I play with these guys. Like, dude, I'm out DPSing you, Scruffy. I'm the tank over here, Sensei. And I'm like, I know, man, I'm trying. I'm swinging this hammer as fast as I can.
Which is weird because like I was in another game with the warrior dude as well, and he was out DPSing our mage. So I don't know, man.
Well, could be. I mean, I only played 2 at level 1.
It could be he was a little bit low, a little bit further.
So
in
he
levels,
could have been higher levels, and maybe they do just scale better. But I was just like that. And at that point, I was like kind of over it. I was like, man, DPS is not feeling like it's it.
Well, and that's kind of the common theme that I'm hearing from like the forums, and players, you know, are saying like, hey, like DPS is not really fun to play. And, you know, typically your DPS classes are kind of the fun class. You know, for most people, that's what most people find. Here's what I'm wondering, right? And I just kind of thought about it as we're, you know, sitting here talking, because we had mentioned that the game, because it is only got 222, right? Like you are so limited in the type of people that you can play. And like, I'm playing the tank, and this person was fun, but really like this person was a 5-star or 4-star tank. And the only reason I can tell you that is because you have to hit more buttons, right? Like her buttons are combo based. And I think that that's like kind of what they're doing here. And so I'm wondering is maybe, you know, with this, again, this is just a demo, but I'm wondering if it's kind of like saying, hey, these 2 characters are going to kind of give you an idea, like, yeah, they're 4-star because you got to hit more buttons. And as you progress and become more involved with these other characters, it's a lot more mechanics based and all of those kind of things. So maybe as they come out with new characters, that will kind of pick up, you know, I guess the funness of it, right? Because, you know, again, DPS, and I said this from the very beginning, right? And I know that we kind of debated, like, I don't feel like there's a lot of weight. Like, I just don't feel like my attacks have this oomph that like a lot of MMOs like Final Fantasy do, or you know, WoW does. Like, I don't feel like I'm doing damage. YouTube's wanting to act up. That's cool. But you know, I don't know. I mean, you guys said that you didn't have that problem, that you still felt like the things were
I just didn't see what you were talking about. I understand what you're saying. Like the animations and the sound design doesn't feel like it's really like impactful, but like at the same time, it's an MMO. I don't expect my MMOs to have impactful combat. Like WoW is not, to me. I know you gave WoW as an example. I don't feel WoW is that impactful.
Yeah, but I feel like whenever I do a crit on something in WoW, I personally felt like I was like, oh fuck, like I just hit that dude for a fucking massive amount. You know, maybe it's because the number, I mean, again, if you look at this, right, numbers don't, the size doesn't change, right? If I hit a crit, it's just fucking, it's yellow, which is great, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard to explain this impact, but there's just a certain weight that I want.
I get what you're saying. Like. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm looking at it like, you know, it is an alpha or whatever this is, the demo version of it. So I'm hoping that people are giving them that information and giving that feedback, and maybe we'll have something different whenever it comes out. But I think it's got good bones at the moment. I really do think I had a lot of fun with it. I played more of it after you guys went offline. I played the next day and had a lot of fun with it. So
yeah. So
I mean, I agree. I think it definitely has a good base to work off. I just worry, and I think we also agreed, like, just the time frame of them releasing content is going to be their make or break for this game. It's
I
not
firmly
just that. It's just they need to release with more characters than what they have. Like this needs to be
that's a
this needs
guarantee
to
for
be
sure.
this needs to be a Marvel Rivals type of situation.
Yeah.
We need like a decent chunk of fucking heroes if you're gonna do this,
still,
because
they can release with a larger catalog with characters and more dungeons. But if they're not pumping it out in the next at least 3-4 months, I'd say less. But giving them that time, it's not going to end well.
I think they can do it though. Like you got to look at it this way, right? When WoW brings out an expansion, you get tops 10, 12 dungeons throughout that expansion, right?
Yeah,
that's all you get for an expansion. But they're also doing all the development for the storyline. They're also doing all the development for the raids. They're also doing all this development for the open world, right? These guys literally have to design dungeons, and I still say that they need a raid. Like they have to have a raid. Like if they 10, 15 man, whatever it is, they have to. No, they 100% have to have a raid. I'm sorry, it can't just be 4-man dungeon runs. They have to have something 100%. That's like huge.
I disagree. I don't like raids. I don't think that raids are like, I don't know. I mean,
I think a lot of people love raids though.
I do, but I also think a lot of people love Mythic plus dungeons, and that's what they're kind of targeting at.
Yeah, and that's why MMOs have both.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they will do raids. Maybe they won't.
Well, you've got in WoW, you've got world first for raids. Like that's a huge fucking pull for video games, for World of Warcraft. That's huge. Yeah. Raid first is like worldwide.
I want to bring this up. I'm surprised it has not been brought up yet. I was talking to somebody on Twitter today, and we were just discussing their future. I'm like, what would really help this game is a PvP arena.
I said that, yeah. I said that after you left. I said that after you left. I said that they need to also add in like arenas, like 2v2, 3v3 arenas.
Having that just would help like the longevity between updates. Just to have people give them something to do, because arenas will always live. PvP is not something that will die easy. Like
Now here's one of the things too that I think, and I do want to ask. I've got some questions for you, Tony, and for you, Bill, here. But I do think they need to make a couple changes. One, like I'm showing this particular dungeon run because to me this dungeon run was the most fun out of the dungeons, even though we didn't get to finish it. Because like it's like, okay, you've got Pats running around, you've got your things are hitting harder, whatever else. The only problem that I do have with though is that like this mechanic that you're seeing underneath the map is basically just like you have to kill a certain amount of enemies to 100% the dungeon, and then you can go and kill the boss, right? But you have to fill that meter up. To me, I get that some people are, like don't want to sit there and kill off everything, but at the same time, I'm like, well,
yeah.
To me, it's just like
you're running a dungeon for a reason,
right? Like, should I get rewarded? Like, to me, I'm like, hey, add a thing in there that's like, hey, if you clear the entire dungeon, right? Like this meter, you're gonna fill up, and you can choose to go kill the boss and be done, or you can choose to continue to grind the mobs that are here. And the more that you're grinding, the harder it gets. But it adds more loot chance or something like that.
The problem with that, and then I'll let Tony and Bill have their conversation after this, is the problem with the way that they have this like set up is you're going to run into the same situation that Final Fantasy is at the moment. Maybe not at the moment because I haven't played the newest expansion, but like previous expansions, it gets to a point where it's like rush, pull as many fucking things as possible, get to the end, fucking finished, we're done. Right. 10 minutes, get the fuck out, we're back in a new one, right? And you're gonna have your hardcores and your player base that are like, if you're not building this specific way, if you don't have these specific fucking pieces of gear, you're not getting in a fucking you're not getting in a group.
Yeah, and they have leaderboards.
That's the biggest fear that that's the biggest fear that I have for that entire situation is like it's going to promote elitists. It's going to promote people that are like the Final Fantasy rush people, and that's not enjoyable to me. But that's just me. That's the way that I like to play. So
yeah. So I want to ask Tony and Bill kind of the same question, but a little bit different. So Tony, first, you have not really dabbled in MMOs. MMOs have not been your thing. You've not done WoW stuff or anything like that. Would this be something that you would see yourself maybe possibly getting into, because this is basically like I hate to say this, but like baby's
MMO
first
light.
MMO, right? Like this is like you're learning the essence of what an
dungeon
MMO
trainer.
is. Yeah,
It's,
Yeah, right.
it's,
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be real with you. These type of games, anything that's like kind of, I can't say top down because I played what was it, Lost Ark, and I actually really enjoyed Lost Ark. I actually really enjoyed Black Desert. Final Fantasy, I tried to get into, but maybe it was just we needed more people.
Final Fantasy.
Um,
Final Fantasy is just one of those games that
Yeah.
some people just don't get into.
But playing like I don't know, man. MMOs take a lot of dedication if you're gonna actually really like get into it. And I just haven't had
Yeah,
the
but so
time.
that's
feel like
where
I need
this
to do
one
it.
That's
kinda-
what would
that's
make
what-
this so good, though.
right.
Yeah.
It does. There is no dedication there. It's just like drop in because you're leveling your character, and this is gonna be a free to play game, completely open. You know, I'm sure the monetization is going to be characters or costumes or a combination of both. But there's no real time investment other than the fact of like, hey, it's your character, level them up, you know, and
Mhm.
keep going. So even still, then that's kind
man.
of like not your steez, not your way to get you into WoW, huh?
Yeah, I've tried multiple MMOs, man. Star Wars, The Old Republic, Neverwinter. I've tried a lot of them. It's just maybe I feel like MMO is probably not my thing. Like
Okay.
because I've dealt a lot of time into Black Desert and Lost Ark, and
Well, we all know that Black Desert's not a
Oh.
real MMO, so that's fine. It's
It has dungeons now.
That's
though,
not true.
so,
It has dungeons.
yeah.
Bill. So, I mean, you kind of been sitting patiently, quietly, you know, watching and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on this? Because you have played Final Fantasy. You know, you've definitely dabbled in the MMO world. What are your thoughts on it?
I don't think it's for me necessarily. Part of what I like about MMOs is that like character commitment, that building
Yeah.
outside of it. Plus, I'm a sucker for a story, and I can't imagine this
Same.
having
None.
much of
Zero.
a story at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't really incentivize me. There's no world lore to really like drag me, like get me invested in the areas that I'm going through. There's no like micro stories within the dungeons themselves. It just is.
Well,
It,
That's
it,
not
it feels,
entirely
it
true.
feels like
They-
it's lacking a little bit of purpose
Yeah.
that would make me more interested in it.
I get where you're coming from with that. That's not entirely true. There is actual like story inside the dungeon. At least it seems like there's going to be. So I'm curious if they're actually going to add in like an overarching like quote unquote,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
storyline. But
it's just I
can't
don't
imagine
see
it'll
that
be
being
too
their
It's not
path.
impactful in this
much.
game.
Yeah,
it's
like, what-
not much,
yeah.
and it's definitely not a focus for sure.
Right,
So
no.
I understand. I'm the same way, Bill. Like I play MMOs for the story as well as the dungeons.
That's
not
why I
just
like
the
Final
dungeons.
Fantasy so much.
Yeah.
I enjoyed its story quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
I liked it
it's-
for
and
as long as it
going
did.
going off of that too, I would appreciate like I wish they would allow you to just create your character and not just have like
Yeah.
set.
I said that from the
characters.
start. I'm like,
Yeah.
if they're not going to give you a ton of characters, having zero customization of your character just makes me even want to play it even less. I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
I have no connection to this character, literally none.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I would almost rather them do like, hey, we're gonna have your character, and then you have these archetypes. If they're gonna sell
Yeah.
characters, you have all these archetypes that we're gonna have available for you. Maybe you purchase or whatever, not purchase, and then you can choose to say, yeah, I want to buy this archetype, and then I can get abilities from that, and then I can start to really kind
Yeah.
of theory craft. Cool, you know, I bought this one and I got this one and I got that one, and now I can start building stuff.
You want to
It's
go down the classless WoW where you
yeah,
just
yeah.
build your
I mean,
own fucking shit.
And to me, I'm kind of like,
I would be okay with that.
like I
Yeah.
think that would do really well, like in this situation where it is something new. So it's not like like classes WoW can be overfucked. Like I'm just gonna say it. Like you can get really overwhelmed really quickly. But I don't know. I mean, it's funny too because like Bill's saying and like Enigma's saying, like the story. I am the complete opposite. I am very much like this is my shit. Like I love fucking dungeons. I want fucking just run them over and over and over again. I'm literally skipping dialogue in Final Fantasy to get through that shit so I can get to the fucking dungeons.
You don't have to do that in this.
You know, and you don't. So,
yeah.
So it's Fellowship. Like we said, it's out on Steam Next Fest. You know, it is a 4-player co-op. I definitely recommend going in if you're not playing DPS with a crew so that you can get fast queues. They have upgrading systems. They have scrapping systems just like Dauntless, or any other MMO game or something of that nature. And yeah, I mean, it's a fun time. I think there's good bones there. We'll have to see kind of where it goes.
Keep our eye on it
from that. So yeah, and I think I don't think it has a slated release date, right? Like this was just like literally, hey, we're gonna throw this out there, and go. So no release date, and
no planned release date as of
Scruff,
yet.
you said
I imagine it'll be pretty quick though.
It's from the Torchlight Infinite crew or Torchlight team.
Yes, it's
Arc
published by
Games.
Arc Games, which is the ones that
published.
Yeah, published.
It's made by Chief Rebel, and they're the guys that did
Remnant.
Hyperlight Breaker. Wow. Okay.
Oh, wow.
No, that's Arc Games. No, that's Arc Games. I think this is their first game. Chief Rebel. I think this is their first.
All right,
game.
cool. Well, awesome. Well, again, first game. I think they got something on their hands. I think they could do something really cool. Just got to be really careful.
I agree.
With it. So, all right. So this game, though, oh man, me and Enigma, I got to give you credit. You're the one that found this. I have stumbled into this love for fucking like SnowRunner, and I don't even know what you would call these. You could probably call them
like Sims.
Yeah,
this is like a driving sim almost, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And so before anybody knocks these types of games, I'm gonna tell you right now, yes. Are you just driving a fucking truck around? Yes. Are you getting stuck in the mud? Yes. Right. Is it
more than likely?
Yeah. Are you gonna get frustrated and really spend an hour just trying to get one fucking tire over a rock? Absolutely. Is it a blast? 1,000%. So
simulator. This is a simulator game.
This is the Roadcraft game.
Yeah.
I guess you could call it a simulator. It's
a simulator.
Kind of
MMO simulator.
It is. It's like a mud runner, like a mud crawler, like a rock crawler simulator, but it's also like a construction sim.
So you got off work to come back to home to play a game.
Bro, listen. You sit your ass right there. You be fucking quiet and you fucking pay attention.
Sin's and Enigma's exact response to simulator games. I feel like.
No, that wasn't mine. I was always a simulator game player. That was Sin for sure, 100%.
Talk about why would you play a Euro Truck Simulator? You just got off driving, you don't want to go back to it.
Look, I don't know what switched. But I did try SnowRunner, and I fucking fell in love with it.
Didn't you try SnowRunner in the middle of one of your episodes?
Maybe it doesn't.
I want to say it was
it
one of your
wouldn't
episodes.
surprise me. But
when he said that he was playing SnowRunner, I was like, "What the fuck, dude? What?"
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But this. So what? None of that is what this game here is, like Enigma said, is called Roadcraft. It is done by the same studios that has done Expeditions, Mud Runner, SnowRunner, all of that. And what they have done here.
Also the same developer that did Space Marine 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saber Interactive.
Okay.
Saber
well, there you go.
Interactive.
And they did Space Marine 2. So, where this game particularly shines, and why I think this game more than any of them it stands out so much more, is the other games were more about expeditions and exploring the world, and going out and getting stuck, but then also to just kind of it's just exploration. This is really cool because it makes your brain think in so many different ways, because this is basically you are in a town or area that has been devastated by either a flood, hurricane, natural disaster. Something happened that just fucked over this entire area, and you are there to build it, right? And to rebuild rebuild infrastructure, rebuild all of this stuff. And what you're seeing here now is Enigma trying to move this box around so I can get my car in there or my truck in there. And
Dude, we spent 20 minutes trying to figure out how to get into that fucking thing.
But there's so many different elements to it, where and his objective, obviously you're just seeing my point of view, but his objective
sure would be having a field day right now with you guys.
Who? oh shit, yeah, no, fuck. You should have seen what we were doing before this, bro. My whole truck was fucking tipped over, stuck on a rock. It was, yeah. But essentially he's having to get this pipe thing and drop it into the back end of my truck, and then we've got to haul it off and all this other kind of stuff. And then Pika joined. So I'll fast forward here so you guys can see. So then like here we finally got it in. Pika joined. And then fucking chaos ensued. Because
what is that? What do you
pipe.
got in the back of your truck?
It's like a pipe, yeah, a release valve for a pipe.
Yeah, because we're having like the quest here is we have to repair the
pipeline, the oil pipeline for the area or whatever pipeline it is.
Oh yeah, here we go. So this is and this is like it's these moments right here that like I'm like, oh, I got to go to this moment because like. In here, I've got scouting trucks, which is Enigma and Pika, and they're supposed to be out like, yeah, okay, you're fine. So Pika's like, yeah, no, you're good. Like, don't worry. It's like, yeah, you just come right through here. Well, sure fucking enough, Enigma gets stuck, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll just plow through it. Like, I'm not a problem. And then I fucking go in and get stuck, and then I got these two dumb fucks trying to winch me the fuck out while we're not trying to tip over this whole fucking thing because we can't. Then and so like that is the chaos that ensues in this, and it's so. I know it sounds dumb. It is so. Shut up, Tony.
It's not
this fucking game. Like
it's not. It's not just that as well. Like yes, if you want to play it like that, if you want to play it like this, where you're just literally going out there and just tearing up the dirt and getting stuck and trying to figure it out, that is entirely like a game plan that you can have. But like this game, in particular, I don't know if it was like this in the like SnowRunner and MudRunner. I don't believe that they had any like management systems, but in this one, you're like we said, you're going in there, you're trying to repair this area, but in doing so, you have to like open up roads to access like the pipe area, right? Like the whole reason why we were doing this was to go and be able to bring these pipes forward, right? But we also had to bring like trash to this other facility to be able to make pipes to repair the pipeline, right?
Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah.
Were you trying to winch him out?
Yeah. And just so you know, I just want you guys to see on this timer.
I finally got it.
On this timer, I
did it.
I got stuck at 26, like 27, right? Maybe 26. Let's just say 26 minutes, and it took all this time. Oh, and I'm still stuck. We're 5 minutes still in, bro. 5 minutes. But it wasn't until like a good like 6 minutes that it took for us to get us out of here. And then, but again,
hey man,
like it
ain't for everybody.
Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Not just this, but like me and Pika, like he doesn't show this, right? Sin did what Sin usually does. He went and fucked off and did his own thing.
I did the objective, motherfucker. I took the fucking thing and prepared it. You guys over here playing with your dirt titties
in a corner, and me and Pika are over here trying to repair a road so that we can get out there. Man, that was the most fun I've had in a video game in a while. I want like repairing the fucking road.
I want to fucking clarify. This is what they're playing with. These Pika came out.
Dirt mounds.
They put in dirt mounds in the middle of the fucking road, and I'm over there trying to get around, and these fuckers are like, look at the dirt roads. And I'm like, dude, okay.
That's the best goddamn road I've ever seen.
It is after you flatten the shit, but I'm always like, dude, it's so again, but this is like, and you immediately, I don't know if you immediately get access. I'm assuming you do because like the whole purpose of this is again rebuilding infrastructure, right? So you're using a bunch of different vehicles. I don't know if it would be as much fun solo because you would then have to transfer trucks. You'd have to go dump, then you got to transfer back and do. So I really think that this is a game meant to be played with friends as a multiplayer experience. And I mean,
fair enough.
It is so much. I can't like gush about this. It is so much fun. We're not going to talk about this right here. We're just.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I tried to winch
this. What I was talking about. He was over there fucking around, not doing anything while we were repairing the road.
We needed steel pipe. I was getting trash to recycle it.
And I come over there and I'm like, bro.
We understand why you guys are not construction workers.
Dude,
how did you even manage to get yourself into that situation?
Do what?
Like that is, how did you even manage to get yourself into that situation?
He had to reset.
I had to reset.
There's an option.
Maneuvered in such a way.
So
okay,
there's a
tractor.
tractor.
Austin Powers when
yeah.
So what happened was that the tractor that you see there can be used because certain items are certain colors, and that will correspond to the colors up in the right hand top corner, like wood, concrete. Because as you get more resources, you can then say, hey, I want to build a bridge here using that resource. Or in this case, it says we need to replace pipes. Well, we've got to make the pipes to do it. So we have to recycle the content or recycle this trash. First person mode, dude. But I was like, oh, well, there's a tractor here. I'm going to go ahead and winch the tractor, or not winch it, but crane this tractor and put it on my back end, and then I'll be fine. So I put my anchors down. I was proud of myself, dude. Put my anchors down, got that fucking tractor. I was like turning it around, getting in the back end of the truck. And then all of a sudden I lifted my anchors and the back end of my fucking truck just went straight back, front end, tailgated, like just fucking jacked up. I was like, oh, well, fuck that. I'm just going to put it up front, and then I'll put all the weight up front. As I did that, I blinked and the truck tipped on its side. So
the more I'm watching this, the more I'm seeing bad idea.
Hey man, I got that in the back of my truck.
Yeah, you
first
did.
Try.
You
first
did.
try.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. So I'm telling you, for $40, it is.
It's really
it's so much fun. I know it seems dumb. I know it may seem kind of just like, but I'm telling you. If you got a group of people that will play it with you, if you've got even just one person, it is a blast. It is so much fun to get out there and do. It looks, again, you would never think that it would be, but it just becomes this thing. It becomes an addiction. I had more fun playing this than I probably can say I have had in Rivals over the last month, which is crazy because I love Rivals.
You want to talk about OSHA violation? Let's talk about the fact that he's probably carrying around a 3-ton iron beam,
just
driving,
flailing, bro, just flailing.
Yeah.
So but again, it's cool. And the last thing I'll say about it too, before I turn it over to Enigma, if he wants to have any kind of closing, I'm going to show you guys some footage of the the scraper and all of that kind of stuff, right? Using the bulldozer, it makes it so you have very easy mode to say, hey, you just want to flatten, right? And then it also has a mode where you can manual, so you can manually lift up the I forgot called in the front, the grader or whatever, the bucket, but also you can go in and Enigma had rocks that were in his way, and I was like, you know what, I wonder if I could do this. Basically, if you wonder, you can do it. And I was just like, yeah. So I put my fucking bucket in the ground, put that bitch on full tilt, rev my engine, picked up that rock and fling that bitch across, and so it was just it's like a puzzle solve, to try to figure out and do all this other kind of stuff. But I don't know.
It's being a kid playing with Toinka.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
yeah. Trucks, right?
I think I said that yesterday during the stream, which is this is literally if you just wanted to be like Thomas the Tank or you wanted to be on the job site playing with your cars and trucks. Yeah,
there's other games that are just like that. Like if you've ever seen Farming Simulator, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You've got farming equipment.
I think they even have co-op in that now too.
They have, they've had co-op in that for a long time. Yeah, it's really popular. But these kinds of games are surprisingly are extremely fucking popular. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I get it. I personally get it, but I didn't think that Sin would play it.
This one,
wildest dreams,
it's just this one particular hits just because, again, it's the problem that you're solving is not just, hey, I got a truck stuck and I need to go try to get that truck out. It's that I got to rebuild all this, right? And so I've got creative ways to do it. So I don't know.
That's what I'm most excited for. Is like I said, I like the fact that you can do all that shit, but I'm most excited for the management systems in it, where you can. It has a system where once you get everything kind of repaired, you can hire AI and you can set up routes for the AI. So you can go and have you can unlock the place where you get your wood from. And you can have the AI take that wood down into another processing factory, which will process concrete or will process timber frames, everything like that, which then you can use to make other, it's just it's very much like a colony sim meets an actual construction simulator meets just stupid fun of getting stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. We need more people to buy it.
It activates neurons.
It's $40. go try the demo on Steam right now. I'm telling you, Tony, get 3 of your fucking friends, 2 of your friends. I'm telling you right now, you will have a fucking blast, bro. I put Niata-san on this fucking game. I want to hear them fucking screech and yell about you guys getting stuck. I need that to happen. But I'm telling you, it's super enjoyable. $40. We'll get you the regular edition, and I think they actually have a bundle right now where you can get $50. We'll get you Snow Runner and Roadcraft,
Mud Runner or whatever Roadcraft.
Well. And it comes out May 20th is when it's looking to launch. All right. Well, that is all of the games that we have played. We're going to now move on to our news section and cover some of the things that we felt was interesting enough to talk about. And first and foremost is, well, you guys know and remember how we said on, I think it was last episode, that like League of Legends was getting rid of their Hex Text chest, and what a fucking decision that was. Yeah, well, they quickly reversed it. So they are, in fact, going back and going to be adding in Hex Text chests. It's not the exact same. They're not just like giving them away like they did before. They're still tying them to, I believe, like passes and like their season pass, battle, whatever pass, something of that nature. Like it's not just free for all like it used to be before, but yeah, they are adding these back.
Yeah. Last week we talked about it, and I was like, that's a dumb fucking idea. I don't know why. By the way, you're muted, Scruffy, I think.
Oh yeah, I must have tapped it. But yeah. Don't worry, I didn't say much. But yeah, no, I mean that's good. At least they're bringing it back. It was pointless that they even removed it. I mean, everybody loved the Hex Tech chests just as a means to get little rewards.
So
that's all it was.
Here's my question, and I'm gonna pose this to Bill. Bill, I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Do you find this attractive? No, that's not the question I want to ask.
You find me sexy?
No, not me. This. I mean, you can answer that question, Bill. Do you find me attractive? I don't mind. I get a little ego boost. No, is so you know, as a fellow League player. Right. I don't know if you watched their response when they, you know, gave their response to this and basically saying like, hey, like, you know, we really are trying to like optimize the game and make the games better for you guys. And sometimes, you know, we move in the wrong direction. We shoot at the wrong target. And that was their whole play here at this. Do you think that's true? I mean, realistically, do you think these companies are just like, oh, we fucked up and we thought you would love this, but you really don't? Or do you think that's just some PR
bullshit?
Yeah, it's PR. They just didn't want their bottom line to be hurt because it's been kind of getting lesser and lesser as the years are going on.
Yeah.
They can't ride the arcane spike players much anymore, so. But,
yeah.
I don't know. I could take the Hex Tech chest or leave them. It's all cosmetics at the end of the day. To get me back, they're gonna need to do some like decent overhauls to the game balance and stuff like that. I haven't been real impressed with anything this season enough to want to try to pick it up again. So
I can agree with that. It's just like, it's not like the end of the world, like for them to get rid of Hex Tech. It's just like one of those things, like why? And then for them to come out and be like, oh, we thought you guys would like this. Like this was like a good move. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's the kick. Taking away something from your player base. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Something away. Like, why would that be good?
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I played League back when Hex Tech chests weren't a thing, and you had to get like new characters through like the in-game currency and all that stuff. You didn't get any freebies or anything like that. So
me and my buddy
it wouldn't be that much different than going back. But there's a ton of players that have only played League since Hex Tech chest is the only way they know, so they feel like they're legitimately getting robbed of mechanics, and they're trying to incentivize more.
I enjoy them
real money, which is what they were doing, but
I enjoy them just because you're able to get like legacy skins and stuff out of them. But me and my buddy back in the day before Hex Tech was like, we would do the random skin gift system, and that was a way that you can get like the legacy skins and stuff. So we were always doing that with each other, like gift a friend us a random skin.
Yeah, so I had a friend that was fun. That was fun.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Also,
oh, go ahead.
As I was about to say, it's also one of those things where it's like, you know, you're getting to the point with skins in League of Legends where they're releasing $400 or $500 skins, right? It's one of those things where I'm like, why?
200.
What is?
I think.
Yeah.
No, they released a $500 skin. The Faker Ari skin was $500.
That's
Jesus.
that's
So-
scary. That's scary.
Yeah.
I own two of them.
It's getting to
No, I'm
the
just
point. It's
I'm kidding. Oh,
Now, to be
it's
fair,
getting to
guys, that $500 got you everything in that collection,
yeah, it's like
including
the ghost horse. It's like the ghost horse skin that he bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Diablo.
You're not just paying $500 for the skin. You're paying $500 for everything, including the skin.
oh
Man.
yeah.
You're a real
yeah.
life sex
But-
doll at that
Yeah.
point.
I'm glad Faker
Like-
can get his
like-
rocks off.
Like I said, it's getting to the point where we're getting so many skins. We're getting and a lot of the new skins are coming out and they're expensive as fuck. Like this felt to me like it was definitely a money grabby thing.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just like it's not like you guys aren't making money. Please, you guys are printing fucking money with Arcane. Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. Give people the hex text fucking boxes and just leave them alone. They're not hurting anything. Like
The one move I will say that I do like about what they've done is they've made it now on they've added it to the honor system. So before, when you would like give honors or give props to, you know, your fellow teammates after the game, it didn't really do much. Like it would raise I think they had some like system that was there, like your honor system, and you would get something, but it wasn't anything meaningful. Like it was just like to show like when you went into a game that you weren't a douchebag, and well, it's League of Legends, so everybody's a fucking douchebag. But in this, they now say like, hey, like you're gonna get that engagement over, you know, skill. I don't know if it's gonna work the way that they intended to, because I think people are still gonna just be like, well, no, fuck you. I'm not giving you props. You know, kind of thing. But
I mean, they hardly ever do anyways at the
Yeah,
moment, so it's not really.
to me, if they were so
appreciate you emphasizing that not all, but the douchebags in League. I appreciate
oh
that.
my god, have you never
I mean,
played
that is
League?
Everybody, what do you mean?
I
What do you
have.
mean?
That's what I'm saying. I appreciate you emphasize that.
yeah.
You introduced me to it, and I ran into the douchebag.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I
We
mean,
were the douchebags,
we were the douchebags. We were on the team. What are you talking about?
No, I wasn't talking about y'all. I'm talking about the guy that told me.
Oh no, my fucking bot lane support right above me, right over here, was one of the biggest douchebags I've ever fucking encountered.
Oh, shit.
Bro, no, but I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, like Riot, to me, if they're really hurting for cash, right? You already put
Which
this
they
on.
aren't.
They're not, but you put this on Game Pass. If you want really money that badly, that quickly, introduce an entire section of gaming that has not touched this game. Probably, you know, most likely, put that bitch on console. Like, put that shit on Xbox on a console. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I guarantee you that Little Timmy it'll sell like gangbusters. It's already on a fucking phone.
They're supposed to be putting Wild Rift on consoles at some point. Whenever Wild Rift was announced, they said that it is planned for console, but I don't know where that is in their priority line. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. In other Riot news, you know, in priority lines, I mean, they had an MMO that was supposed to come out, but then so the original person,
the lead developers, the lead designers, like,
they're all leaving. They're fucking leaving.
Everybody's leaving.
You know, and so you know, I don't know if Riot's got Wild Rift coming out to console or if their MMO's ever going to come out. I mean, they're saying, Riot's co-founder is saying like, yes, it will come out, but like, I mean, by this fucking statement, he's saying we're going to be on Mars before we fucking get the Riot MMO. Like, what is happening? Like, I guess here's my question. Do you think that, I mean, at this point, do you think that a Riot MMO is actually likely? I mean, or is this just blowing smoke just to blow smoke because it's just gotten so much attention?
I think it'll happen. I just don't know when. I have no doubts as long as Riot's a company and still continuing to do well, that it will be in the pipeline at some point. I think they want to get the fighting game off the ground for the most part. I think they want to continue with League of Legends base. I think that Wild Rift on console will probably come out before the MMO does. They're wearing a bunch of different hats right now, and I think they're just a little bit stretched out as far as like their employees to project ratio. I mean, unless they get like a major like influx of employees to change the industry.
Right now.
Not with the way the industry is going right now.
Yeah, they just laid off a bunch of people. I mean, they laid off fucking I want to say they laid off like 100 and some odd people last year. Like, so I don't know. I mean, if you want head count, that ain't the way to do it.
Well, they probably weren't. They most likely weren't going to be employees that could effectively work on the MMO anyway. They're probably bloat from League itself or
Well, I'm
from
sure.
one of the other projects.
Valorant.
But
I mean,
maybe
they could always just hire some Concord devs. I mean, I hear
yeah,
those are going.
yeah, Veilguard people and Concord. And...
To me, I'm, there's a small part of me in the back of my mind that's like, yeah, it's got to happen. It has to happen. There's nothing stopping it from being a success. We've talked about it multiple times over the years. It has everything that WoW had that made WoW a success. It has a solid background. It has characters. It has lore, everything like that. There's no reason why a Riot MMO or a League of Legends MMO would not work, right? But at the same time, that's a lot of work, and that's a lot of developers need. Like you guys were saying. I'm more curious if this is just Riot's way of being like, it's not coming out, but we can't come out and be like, yeah, it's not coming out because that's going to piss a lot of people off. So we'll just string them along and give them an unattainable date.
That's so crazy because that's not Riot's MO, right? Like Riot is normally pretty quiet about stuff that they're doing.
Well, I do agree with what Bill had said. I just think that they've got too much going on right now. I think they've.
I completely forgot about that fighting game
to go down. Yeah, they want that fighting game to go down. They probably feel like that could be a contender for like Street Fighter or whatever you want to call it. One of the fighting games. So I'm curious to see about that.
2KXO, terrible name, but 2KXO looks and for what I like the little bit that I have gotten to play, it is the right one. Yeah, it's not even right. It's League. It is a League fighter. It is using League characters in that.
I thought that they had Valorant characters in there as well.
Not just League.
No, it's just League.
Is it just League?
Yeah,
okay,
it's just League. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I completely forgot about that. But again, like I said, that's not their MO, right? Like their MO has always been, hey, we're not going to announce something until it's like ready to at least show something off. They didn't do it with Arcane. The world didn't really know about Arcane until Arcane was ready, pretty much to drop. Same thing with 2KXO. Like they dropped footage. Same thing with like their single player, like indie games that they've put out, right? I can't call them indie games, but like the single player little bite-sized games they put out, all of which have been very good. So it's really odd for me. I kind of feel like this one got ahead of them and it just kind of got out there. And then, well,
again, like we talked about it last week. Like when you're losing lead developers, like the Ghostcrawler was huge, right?
Yeah.
Like when you lost him and then you lost another lead developer. And then last week you lost another lead developer. Like that's bad. That's not good news. Like you start losing lead developers like that. That's usually a sign that the studio's kind of crumbling a little bit. And I'm worried about that.
To be fair, too, an MMO in itself, I feel like that's a pretty big ask for just like whipping up a game. Like all those other games they whipped up, team fight tactics, but
they've got
fighters.
they've got the lore. It's already there.
Yeah,
they have all the backdrop.
But still, there's definitely a lot more that goes into it to all make an MMO than those other ones. I feel like,
but I don't know. I just feel like
if they don't have the team to put together to do that, there need to be multiple teams for a game like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I do want to highlight a comment that is in chat. Is basically saying, hey, what if like tomorrow or like whatever SpaceX or the U.S. government, whoever's like, hey, by the way, we're going to Mars next week. So I guess this person, the founder is going to be like, fuck. What do we do now?
Tomorrow.
So, yeah.
You saw that Keanu Reeves wants to be on the first flight to Mars.
I mean, sure.
That's like that's like one of the things on his bucket list is he wants to go to Mars.
We can't lose Keanu Reeves. Like,
I'm thinking we just pack it with like I don't know if you guys have ever watched Don't Look Up, but if you've never watched Don't Look Up, you should. It's hilarious. But definitely watch Don't Look Up. And I think we just we just fill it with like half of Congress or all of Congress. I don't give a fuck. The entire U.S. government. Just put them on there, shoot them on Mars. Let them have that fucking planet, and we can like actually like rebuild the United States the way that we need to. I don't know. Anyway. All right. Well, moving on from the Riot news, we're going to move into, hold on, I moved all over the place, so now I got to get back to it. Let's talk about even greater news, which is, Warner Brothers is canceling the Wonder Woman game, and it closes 3 studios. So,
I saw that coming. That was a given. Yeah. Warner Brothers has always been just,
I mean, but here's the sad thing, right? So obviously the Wonder Woman game getting canceled, yes, that sucks. But the bigger kick to me to like the dick
Housemarque
is wait, they closed on Housemarque Studios?
Was
No, Monolith, not Housemarque.
Monolith. Yeah,
I was gonna say, I was like, how the fuck did they close down Housemarque? Housemarque's owned by Sony.
Yeah, sorry.
But he scared me, Bill, because they've got the sequel to Returnal coming out. Monolith Productions, that's the kicker to me that really hurts, because that was the people that did Middle Earth Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. That sucks.
That really makes me mad. But on
they're
top
holding
of
the
that,
Nemesis system, huh?
That's what I was about to bring up.
Nemesis patent.
Oh yeah, Nemesis system.
which is fucking terrible, man. Like that is
2036.
That system, that system itself could be a game, dude. Like that system that system was so far ahead of its time when they released it back in like 2012 or whatever it was. That system was so far ahead of its time that like even today I go back on occasion and play Shadow of War, and I'm like,
it still holds up.
System. This game is so fucking good. What the fuck? Why did they not make another game?
Yeah.
Why did they not push this system into other fucking games? That could have saved them. Like Warner Bros. Could, like, if they had made a fucking what's it called? Suicide Squad with that would have been fucking dope. Like,
yeah.
Right.
Well, and here's the crazy thing. Could you imagine that Nemesis system inside of like Grand Theft Auto? Like a GTA game? Like if Rockstar had the ability to do that.
Like Mafia.
It could fit into so many video game systems, and it was just such a good system.
Yeah, your Mafia games that you and Tony are so excited about. That putting it in that.
Have a bunch of Mafia bosses. That'd be sick.
We love that though.
So so I mean, officially Jason Schreier broke the news, and then obviously a bunch of sites picked it up. But their official statement is basically saying that Warner Brothers stated, we have had to make several difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best games possible for our key franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. So let's just be very clear. Out of all of those that are the successful key franchises, Harry Potter's had one key game that has been good, right? Which is, I think it sold well, but I don't think it sold like gangbusters.
No, it sold extremely well. No,
but I don't think it met the expectations that they were still looking. Like, I still don't think that it sold.
Talking about Legacy?
Yeah.
No.
Hogwarts Legacy did well, but I don't think that it sold. I don't think it met their expectations.
They made enough to recoup fucking costs within like the first week, if I remember correctly. Like,
I don't think
that
game
did
game
extremely
was,
fucking well.
I'm not saying it didn't do well. I'm saying it didn't do what they projected.
Fair enough.
Anyway, I'm just saying Mortal Kombat. DC hasn't released a fucking good game in a minute, right? And Game of Thrones, I don't even know. Like, I hear the Game of Thrones mobile game is popular as shit, but I know that
the new one that they just they're releasing now, I think it's called King's Road. I've heard it really, really fucking good things about it. It's that one that's like
isn't that where you play like one of the
it looks
like what are you playing?
It looks very similar to like Black Desert. It looks extremely similar. It's like people are saying it's like a mix between The Witcher and Black Desert, essentially.
Yeah.
So
anyway, yes, I mean that they're just they basically closed Monolith Studios Player First Games and Warner Brother Games San Diego. You think you think that this had to do with the fact that Multiverses was dog shit and Suicide Squad fucking bit them in the ass?
100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
If not Multiverses, definitely Suicide Squad. I think they put a lot of fucking money into Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad caused them the loss of a lot of money, for real.
Well, because I don't think Warner Bros. I mean, it was obviously Rocksteady, right? Like they're the ones that took the bullet, but
it was
I think
Rocksteady, but Warner Bros. Published it. Warner Bros. owns the trademark.
Well, I know they own the trademark, but the company would pay for the trademark to Warner Brothers. So I don't know. Maybe DC flipped the bill for that. I don't know. I don't know how all of that licensing worked. Because if DC came to Rocksteady and said, "Hey, we want you to make a game," then that's different, right? Like DC now flipped the bill. Warner Brothers flipped the bill for or footed the bill, whatever you want to say, for
they were
Suicide Squad, right? If Rocksteady was like, yo, we want to go and we want to make a Suicide Squad game, then they're paying Warner Brothers for it. So it I guess it would just come down to that.
This is directly from their head of games, and he actually goes into it. And he says that the quality of too many of our recent releases, our new releases, has really missed the mark. We need to make some substantial changes to our portfolio team structures if we were committed to necessary resources to get back to fewer but bigger franchises, strategy, and then I believe he mentioned, what was it? I think that's all he mentioned. So
that's word for word like Ubisoft said. I'm just saying, the restructuring, missing the mark,
Tony, we understand you are not gonna you don't like Ubisoft, you're not getting any more of their games, bro. You do not have to fucking be mean about it. You're gonna get your chance to talk about them, don't worry.
No,
Warner Bros. Games had suffered a huge dismal year marked by a $200 million write-down in May on painful flop Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, followed a few months later by the $100 million write-down flop due to failures of Harry Potter Quidditch Champions and the fighting game Multiverses. So yes,
I forgot that game existed.
So here's the thing: Harry Potter. I can talk about it now because they tried to release it. That game in particular they tried. But they separated they didn't put a Quidditch game in the Harry Potter game that did well. They didn't do it like a multiplayer thing. That was a mistake. They should have put a multiplayer just for that aspect alone inside that game. They tried to separate it and make it its own entity, just Quidditch, and nobody was into that. You should have just kept it in the actual game where everybody did well. I don't know, that was just stupid in my opinion. But hey. This is what happens.
I mean,
yeah, straight from the company. The company had been counting on Suicide Squad and Multiverses to generate large amounts of revenue throughout this year and coming up into 2025, but instead ended up ending support for both games in the wake of their miscalculations. Warner Bros. Has now released the stretch ahead. What? Dude, yeah, I don't understand how they thought Multiverses was going to make them money, man. Suicide Squad for sure, but yeah.
But Multiverses, you really thought that was going to bring you money?
Hold on, let's
maybe on the first release, not the second release.
Yeah, I don't know. That's for sure. But here's what I'll say, right? Like what this tells me, like you look at again, Middle Earth, right? Like the Shadow series, Multiverses, again, Suicide Squad, the Harry Potter game. Now, what it shows is an incompetency of understanding what people love about these games and how to then foster communities around them, because like we can shit on Multiverses all day long, but like myself and Scruffy played it. It is actually it was a very comparable, very good fighter. Like it had the chops to hold up. Like it could have stood the test.
Scruffy,
of time.
do you agree?
It was all right.
I don't know, man.
I'm not gonna sing its praises or anything.
Scruffy's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That shit was trash.
Yeah, it was better than that Nickelodeon one that we played, but it was okay. It was fun enough to play for a little bit, but I much prefer Brawlhalla.
I don't know. I think that it had good bones. I think they could have worked it to that, right? And again, I'm not saying that the games are perfect. I'm saying they could have kept working at it, right? Like you look at Suicide Squad. They could have
they could have
content for it.
Not shut it down and fake being a beta or whatever. They just
that's
fucked up.
That's what I was gonna say. The question is,
pulled some weird shit and fucked up, man.
How many re-releases would it have taken to get to the fucking final
I get it, but like what I'm trying to point at there is like they gut things or they change things or they don't stick with it if it doesn't hit. Like Warner Brothers is showing their hand, and this is not just them, right? Like we've got more companies that we're going to show here that are like literally doing the exact same thing. I mean, it just is this inept ability to say, hey, we're going to try to fix this game, or we're going to continue to work on it to make money and do better. I mean, the No Man's Skies of the world can do it, right? You can see games continue to do it. I mean, fuck, Overwatch is trying to do it now, right? And Blizzard. So I just, because you cannot tell me that there was not a conversation that somebody said about the Harry Potter game going, hey, should we add Quidditch? I guarantee you somebody at the table said we need to add Quidditch, and somebody said, no, we can spin it off to its own game and make more money.
That'll be its own game. Yeah.
Yep, somebody said that.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Like somebody sat down at the Suicide Squad and said, hey, let's make this just a fucking all-in-one game and really give a good shine to it versus this live service thing. And someone's like, no, just continue to shove live service money down it. Like the people that are making these decisions for these games need to be held accountable for, and they need to not be in decision making. Like I just don't understand why we need to go down this route. Like crazy. I mean, it's crazy.
Can I make a bold statement?
Sure.
I think Dragon Age the Veilguard would have done better if it was a live service game.
You mean the game that's coming out that's 4 months after is now coming to PlayStation Plus? Thank you for that tee off, man. I love that.
I think it would have done better if they had stuck with the live service model with that game. I think I don't know. I think it would have added something a little bit more to it that might have actually kept people around.
You're poking the enigma bear down there.
I vastly disagree with that. I understand where you're coming from, but like Veilguard's issues weren't like something that a live service could have changed. Veilguard's issues were writing and story and leaning heavily on a fucking franchise that they didn't actually know what the fuck they were doing with.
Yeah, but how much of that happened post because
I think a lot of the writing
to that.
Yeah, I think not, maybe not a lot, but I think some of the writing and like the pacing of the game at least could have been affected by them changing it from live service to just straight single player. But we'll never know. It's all hyperbole.
Because I feel like, and I mean, Bill, I do think that you're onto something. I mean, again, obviously, Shocker, the person that loves live service and dumping money into games, going to say that I enjoy that. But like, to me, when I remember seeing Veilguard when they first announced it, to what we got, right?
Back when it was
Dreadwolf, right? Very, very two completely different style of games, right? Like one felt like it was about to be this dark, fucking like serious toned game, and then kind of what we got was this very like, I don't know, like I would say almost more Avowed style, like very like kiddie kind of. Not kiddie, but I don't know. It just felt more cartoony and not as serious.
Definitely is more cartoony, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that if they would have stayed with the Dreadwolf route, kept it as a live service game, I think that it actually, I don't disagree. I think that it maybe would have been darker. I think Enigma, you may have liked it because I think it would have had darker undertones and fixed some of the writing issues.
We'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's all hyperbole.
We can sit here and go, oh, it would have been better if they would have went, but we'll never know because we got the worst possible fucking case of what they could give us in the Dragon Age game.
Maybe.
It just got me thinking when you guys were talking about the live service aspect, the fact that it was supposed to be, and the fact that the bones of the gameplay itself are decent, and the loot system I think could have been really cool in a live service type model. Like it was obviously intended to be that way from the loot that we have in the game now. I think there could have been some cool stuff.
Have you beaten that game?
I think,
by the way, Bill.
No.
Have you gone back to it since its release?
I got about halfway through, and the story just doesn't hold it. It doesn't grab your attention. The gameplay itself is fun. Yeah,
the gameplay's fun. It's black. Yeah,
but only for about 25 hours.
I think the best option that it has going for it is definitely going to like PS Plus, and like if they put it out on PS Plus and they put it out on Game Pass, great. I think that's a great route for it, but definitely like where it released
it's
at.
It's only route at this point.
Yeah, where it released at, I think that's the best case scenario that it had going for it in the long run. I am a little, I don't know. I can see where you're coming from with the live service game side of things, but I think if anything, it would have just extended. It would have extended it because they would have been cannibalizing stuff from the actual game that they released. So instead of getting a full-fledged game, you would have gotten a partially complete game, and then you would have gotten drip-fed content. That's all you would have got.
I mean, so here's what I will say about, because I do have a question for you guys, because we are kind of highlighting this as a negative connotation that this is going to PlayStation Plus. I mean, do you think that that's a negative connotation for games or a game or this game?
I'm not highlighting it as a negative. No, I think it's a very good thing. Yeah.
I mean, I think that I don't know. It feels like there's a negative vibe around it being like, 4 months after the game came out, it's on PlayStation Plus.
It's bad optics. It's terrible optics, but I don't think it's a bad thing.
Why you left?
I mean, 4 months out of 4 months after a game comes out, you expect to maybe its first sale to pop up, not for it to be like this. This isn't just like it's showing up on PlayStation Plus.
Straight to digital.
Yeah, pretty much, more or less. Yes, exactly.
If you have PlayStation Plus during the month of March and you download this game, you keep it forever. They are giving the game away for free.
It's the same thing of if you buy pierogies, you got Fallout 76.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a hard burn. It's a hard pill to swallow. That I paid for Veilguard, right? And
full price, $70.
You know, and I can have it for free now on my PlayStation. Now, you know that definitely does.
I have the disc.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you got your physical copy.
Hey, at least you got physical
that way,
copy,
next time PlayStation Network goes down for 3 days, I can still play Veilguard.
Yeah,
there you go.
So, well, we talked about Avowed a little bit here, and I know for you guys that are for my fellow podcasters that are following along our little structured page, I'm bouncing all over the fucking place. But
nothing new there.
So Avowed, I mentioned last week on last week's show that I was going to show footage and I was going to talk about playing this because I had been playing it on Game Pass. I was a buddy of mine had Game Pass, was using their account and playing it. And I booted it up and Enigma was there, and I booted up the regular version because I don't I don't pay for Game Pass anymore. I'm not supporting Microsoft's endeavors in that situation for how they're doing certain things. So I bought the game. I like that. I guess that's any better. I bought the fucking game, but I'm not going to pay $11 for a month, but fuck them.
Yeah,
whatever.
That makes no fucking
fuck
sense.
off, man. Fuck off, bro.
What do you fucking mean?
Just
well done.
Leave me alone. In my mind, it made sense. Anyway,
that's the Barbie math, the white girl math. If I buy the purse and the shoes, technically the purse is free.
Yes, sure. Anyway, I could not play the game because it made me like the Steam version made me motion sick. There was a huge difference between the Game Pass version on PC.
Hurt your tummy.
Yeah, and the regular edition.
It was bad.
It's weird, man.
Like
I don't know what it was.
Different game build or something. They did the same thing with Pal World too, if you remember.
So I'm confused. The Game Pass version and the version that you bought
on Steam
look different.
There was
the
something
Game Pass
different.
version is the Xbox ported to the PC client, whereas the Steam version is the game built on PC client.
The PC version, okay.
That's
what I had said. It might be just two different versions, and this one just isn't as polished. But
I don't know. It made me sick.
A lot of the times is the case. Unfortunately,
Cinnamon needed a watered down drink. It's okay.
Okay.
Well, no.
Dude, it's not just me, man.
I sat there and watched him, and before he started complaining, I was like, "Dude, this is fucking like I'm really bad with."
So there was no settings you could change.
No, I tried.
It wasn't like
I tried.
He tried. We sat there for like 15-20 minutes trying to go over settings. I went and Googled it. I was like motion sickness in fucking Avowed, and I was like, well, try this.
It didn't matter whether it was third person, whether it was first person, which is sad because I actually was enjoying the game. Like, I will say that like the story behind the game is not good. Like, so for Bill, if you're a story person, it's not
the combat.
It's not. Yeah. I disagree. I liked the combat. I thought that the combat was actually a lot of fun.
If you like this, all right.
It's the same animation. I mean, constantly.
That's what you got to see. It gets a lot better as you get farther in, right? Like I was obviously playing this person's character. So he was farther along, but like I was able to like. What I liked about it was their ability just like for you to like easily weave in between like your different weapons, and you could, really go in there, like cast these different spells. And again, it's very much of like what I got with Veilguard, just like Bill said, like Veilguard's combat was fun. Like this also was very, like, I felt like the combat was fun. Yes. Some of the animations.
I will say controversially, I think Veilguard's combat was better than this fucking combat.
I don't know. I would put them kind of on par with the same. I mean, but like to me, the game, what I loved about the game was exploring the world. Like what I will tell you is that if you can get through the motion sickness, if you do buy it on PC, if you don't get motion sick, I think it's fun. It's a lot of fun. The writing is whatever, but there's like a lot of little hidden secrets. Exploring the world is great. They have some issues that they need to fix, but I mean, I don't know. Enigma doesn't like the game, right? I don't know what the rest of you guys have thought about this release, but like a lot of the world is saying like this game is good, like it's doing well.
I think they're kind of back and forth. It's good. It's also kind of mid in some aspects. I've only got a bit of hands-on so far. I've only played a few hours here.
I forgot you played it.
Yeah, just a couple. I've been really busy lately. I've wanted to play more. I mean, I was a very big advocate of this game. Like I've been looking forward to it for a long time.
I wanted it to be good.
You know, and what I'll say is like the combat is not bad. It's passable, and in some aspects it is good. I think the hand-to-hand melee combat is lackluster.
That's a first-person open world RPG by these guys, though.
Right, exactly. I'm playing an archer right now. The archery is fun, but it's also I feel like it's going to get a little boring. Just because like it's like kind of arcadey, more like less than like Skyrim was. And then I will say they probably excel most in their magic. That's probably where they stand out the most. Their elements can combine to like, you know, do certain things, and like you can like freeze water or like burn roots, and you know, combine your elements to do different things. So I definitely think in that aspect they do well.
I don't think that it meant to go out there and try to change the genre. Like this wasn't trying to push the genre forward and say, "Hey, we're doing something phenomenally."
So this is where I have to stop you on that one. Okay, when you're in 2025, right? We're in the year 2025, and you're releasing a game that has less mechanics, looks worse than a game that released in 2009.
I don't. Okay, if you're going to talk about Oblivion and comparing it to Oblivion, I got a problem with it because I'm like, dude, everybody that's sitting here bitching and saying like, oh, Oblivion. Like, first off, I did not go to that game and look at it and go, this looks worse than Oblivion. Like, and I've seen the fucking side by sides.
Not
looks, but mechanically,
I don't think. Why does it? Dude, what is the whole deal with being like, cool? I can take a pot and put it on a fucker's head.
We're in 2025.
Sin, I know this might be new to you. You're not a story game player. We like to be more immersed into the world that we're playing. We like to see things, interact with things, and not just run through and slay and skip dialogue.
I'm not saying you got to skip dialogue, but what I'm saying is that, and that's not the part that people are like comparing it to. Like one of the key things that I have seen over and over and over again with Oblivion is this fucking shooting an arrow into the air and watching the arrow come back down. Why the fuck does it matter? We're in a fucking video game where I'm literally shooting an ice arrow. Why does it matter whether the fuck it comes down or not? Like who? Why is that such
a town where every NPC is just sitting still and not moving around or anything?
Still.
I'm not saying that that's not a knock about it.
What about jumping from the highest
point? Attack the NPCs.
What about jumping from the highest point into water and dying before you hit the water?
Again, I'm not talking about like the thing. I'm not talking about the bugs or the issues that are like.
That's not a bug. That's not a bug. That's not a bug.
Loading into the world where the NPCs are not moving around or whatever else, like or whatever. Like
that's not a bug.
Okay. All right.
They literally have not coded NPCs to walk.
I don't know,
or the fact that you go out in the wilderness and you see a pig and you go to fucking attack it and your shit goes right through it. Like what?
Yeah. It's not bugs. It's just lazy development.
It's terrible, man.
Yeah,
like I said, for 2025, it's not a good showcase, and that's not even taking into consideration pushing the franchise forward, pushing gaming forward. That's actually pushing the gaming backwards. Yeah, in my opinion.
They're not even.
That's the last thing I'm going to say about it. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that we are like, I understand a lot of the complaints and issues, and sure, I will give those, do where they're due. But I also think that like in a game where it is fun to play, it is, enjoy, like I had a good time in it playing, again, the combat, the exploration. I liked that. And I thought it was fun. And I think that they focused in on that and they're like, yeah, this is what we're going to make work and do really, really well. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying it's a pass for them, but I'm just saying like people are shitting all over this game, and I'm like, I don't think it deserves to be shit all over.
Is Obsidian Entertainment a AAA studio?
Yeah, they're also backed by Xbox money, so
yeah.
Well,
and that's fine. So I mean, I'm getting some enjoyment out of it too, and they, like you said, they do well in some categories. It's just like they forgot about all the other ones that are kind of important too. It's just altogether the whole scheme of things is just did not.
It's like trying to make a pie.
Yeah,
and getting the crust really fucking good, but you forgot the rest of it.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will continue to move on. Enigma, you will be very happy about this one. Dauntless is shutting down. Very rarely do we happy about a studio shutting down, but I guess.
Okay. Wait.
Enigma says fuck your jobs. He hates you. He doesn't like you.
I am happy because in the end, this game has been going through the shit, and I don't blame. I do blame the developers, but I don't blame the developers in case of like them going down the route that it went down, because they got bought out by this NFT fucking bullshit company, and that NFT bullshit company basically pushed them down the route of push out as much shit content, reuse stuff, reuse old content. We're gonna give you as little fucking funding as possible to make this game a success, right? My biggest complaint about this, and the reason why I'm happy about it, is because the way that Dauntless and Phoenix Labs, the developers, treated their fucking original backers, myself included, was horrendous. Okay, so yes, no one 100%. I am completely okay with this fucking company being shut down. I'm sad that those developers, those good developers, are losing their jobs. I hope that the good developers get jobs someplace else, and the bad developers or the bad leads do not. That's not going to be the case, as we've seen with Concord. They usually end up failing upwards, which is sad to say, but yeah, 100%. This is awesome. Dauntless, I think, needed to be shut down a year and a half ago to 2 years ago.
Yeah, they should have never made it to Steam somehow. That was.
Well, that was their last ditch effort. Again, that was their last ditch. That was their you guys need to make this work. We're not going to give you any more resources, and you need to make it work in order to fucking continue to succeed, or else you're
no shock it didn't work.
Yeah,
and it's just the game that's going away, right? The studio is not shutting down.
No, the studio is shut down completely. They completely laid off a good portion of the actual developers in Phoenix Labs. I don't think the Phoenix Labs is around anymore, honestly. If they are, it's a ghost. I don't know if it's a ghost crew. And
let's see if it says the studio said at this time that the future of Dauntless, the shutdown of Dauntless follows a recent round of layoffs at Phoenix Labs, which saw the majority of the staff let go. So it's like I said, it's probably a ghost crew. They probably have like two, because they have 2 or 3 other games that they've released that are still doing okay, so they probably just have like a ghost crew that's just pushing out like bug fixes and patches. Hey, maybe they'll get picked up by Capcom and the Monster Hunter, or they'll form their own company to do another kind of this. I mean, I think Dauntless had some really cool elements to it.
It did. It did. It was a good game until they fucked everything up. Like,
So, and if you're not familiar with Dauntless, Dauntless was it's like a Monster Hunter style
free to play Monster Hunter game that released before Monster Hunter Worlds did.
So, all right. Hey, are you guys shocked but that Fable's getting delayed?
No. I personally think they should have delayed it indefinitely, because that game looks bad.
Do you think
that you actually saw gameplay, or it was just
they released
they released gameplay the same day that they delayed it?
It looks terrible.
I don't think I saw. Did they have the gameplay footage on here?
I didn't see gameplay.
Is this it?
It didn't look terrible, I thought, but
is this the gameplay footage?
Pre-alpha gameplay. Yeah, that just says pre-alpha gameplay, so maybe. But when I just remember just cinematics. I didn't remember any actual.
Yeah, they have gameplay of it now.
They yeeted a fucking chicken.
Are they not going to let me see the gameplay of it? Is this what the fuck?
To me, being somebody that played the original Fable games, this is like, yeah, it looks pretty.
Let me see if I can
I'm not again, it's one of those situations like Avowed, right? Avowed looks gorgeous. It's a very pretty game. It's on Unreal 5. It looks pretty. I'm not saying that it doesn't look really pretty, but the gameplay mechanics and everything behind it look lackluster. They don't look great. The character models don't look great.
I mean, are they still going down? Because wasn't Fable? I mean, because I feel like this game has been fucking out in talks forever, right? The next Fable. Like, I feel like we're like 4
we've only
years.
known about the new Fable for like the last 2 years. I think they announced the new Fable not last year, but the year before that in the summer.
That does sound right.
No, I could have.
They released it. They released it 2 years ago in the Game of the Year. That was their big hurrah.
Dude, I could have sworn we saw this when they were talking about the release of the new Xbox games. There are new Xbox consoles.
Nope.
Okay.
Inserting the link. So
let me see. I'm going to cover this up so I can grab the link here. All right, let's see. Is this the Fable? All right, cool. So this is the gameplay footage that they showed. Well, I mean, so okay. Here's the thing. Do you actually think this is going to come out? Because this is now, if I'm not mistaken,
it'll come out. It'll come out the same time Elder Scrolls 6 does.
So here's the crazy thing: that's a big cock. Is this wasn't this one of the ones that was like on the whole like this is coming out this year and whatever? Like
no, they've never had a release.
No.
Like,
why is it low key giving me like not the combat, but just with the way she was swinging the sword, almost like The Witcher 3.
It's shitty Witcher. Yeah,
they're trying. Yeah, they're trying to push for it.
That's the title, Fable, the shitty Witcher.
So you got to remember.
Get out of here, Clover.
Okay, you got to remember, Fable was The Witcher before Witcher
became
the game
The Witcher.
at least
Fair
came
enough.
around. Yeah.
Fair
Fable
enough,
was the original kind of like you're dropped into a fucking fairy tale world and you've got to deal with fairy tale creatures. That was the Witcher thing, right? But I understand what you're saying. It does look very similar to Witcher, but that's what they're going for. Again, it's a very beautiful game. I'm not saying it's not beautiful.
It's pretty.
I just don't think that
But
the combat, the little bit that we've seen, looks very uninviting.
Floaty.
It looks,
I mean, again, guys,
it looks very unimpressive.
But it's pre-alpha.
It is a pre-alpha, but at the same time, you also have to realize every Fable game, the combat was like, if we're honest, the combat was really like just.
Well, it was also
anything to bat home.
It was also 3 console generations
that
ago.
was in 2006.
Fair.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I will say that I agree with Tony. Like this to me is a very stark, like right turn where Fable was very cartoony. Fable was very kind of just dummy style, like kind of goofy.
And they're still going for that in this. Like when you saw the original trailer,
you
had the man that was actually like narrating everything, and it was in a goofy manner.
Well,
I really
gameplay doesn't give that though.
It is like the guy that's narrating your life is basically like the guy from the other Fable.
It's like the Stanley Parable. It's like the Stanley Parable.
Like
that's the whole situation that they're going down. Yeah,
and I feel like.
None of that says.
I don't want to judge. I don't want to judge too harshly on this game because again, this is pre-alpha footage. Now,
it is,
when they get to their beta and everything else, maybe it'll play better as far as the combat. But from what I can see, just off of looks, it looks okay. It looks good. It's just
so my only rebuttal to that is if they're planning on releasing it in 2026, they have a year
to fix
to clean that up, and don't think that's gonna happen.
I think the best part of that combat was kicking that chicken.
True.
That's about it.
Always gotta kick the chicken, man. Always gotta kick the cock.
Gotta kick that cock.
Y'all keep talking. I'm just gonna watch this Glover trailer.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Being somebody that's played the original Fable games, loved the original Fable games. Fable 3 was not the best, but I still played the shit out of it. Peter Molyneux, say what you want about the dude. He makes some bangers, Black and White was some of my favorite stuff back in the day. One of my favorite ones.
Have you never seen?
I'm looking at Fable 4 and I'm just like,
I'm excited for it.
I'm good.
I'm excited for it. I'll play it. I'll give them a chance.
I mean,
it'll be on Xbox Game Pass, so I'll try it at least.
Oh, well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
All right. We'll move.
I'm tired of Game Pass. I'm so tired of Game Pass. Like I'm happy that it exists for people that enjoy it, but I do genuinely feel like it's diminishing any chance of getting good Xbox titles because there's no risk to them.
They don't really care about Xbox titles anymore, to be honest.
No, I mean, I think Xbox and Game Pass, and especially now that it's going multi-plat, like, or they're trying to go multi-platform, like that's what
They don't care.
Just put anything out. They're becoming a fucking publisher. They're becoming a free-to-play publisher. You're going to publish your shit. You're going to put it on our systems. That's where Xbox will be. TP predicts Xbox will be that before we go to March. So, all right. I know we're getting down to crunch time here, and Enigma is steadily looking at his left freckle on his right wrist. But I do want to spend some time, give Bill some just dessert time here. Talk about this because we didn't talk about it last week, though. Even though the news came out last week, we waited so we could talk about it this week because Bill is our resident Rainbow Six Siege expert. What is this Siege X? Is this a new Siege? What is going on with Siege?
So Siege is having its 10-year anniversary this next season or year. And Siege X is going to be the year 10 season 2 update. So this is a engine overhaul from what I understand. It's going to be completely redoing graphics, redoing audio, redoing anti-cheat. It's basically rebuilt from the ground up in a new engine. They're going to be adding new mechanics to the game. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that this game will actually perform less buggy and have less cheaters than what the current version does, which as far as the bugs and the audio and all that stuff goes, it can't be much worse than what it is. They literally tried to build a first-person shooter out of the Assassin's Creed engine, and I'm surprised it's done as well as it has. But from what I understand, this is specifically made for Siege, so it should have none of the bloat that current day Siege has as far as file size. File size should be drastically reduced, is what they're saying, and everything should work much, much more effective.
Bills, don't ever say it can't get any worse.
I mean, it is Ubisoft, so
yeah, right.
My only concern is that Ubisoft goes under before we actually get to Siege X to see what it's like.
I think you'll get the update. I just think that they're coming.
Is this update happening before or after fucking Assassin's Creed Shadows?
That's what I was about to ask.
It'll be after.
It's after.
Oh, then it's probably not going to come out. The company won't exist after Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay, is this just Siege's version of Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2 and fucking Smite 1 to Smite 2? Like, is that
only
what this is?
They're not making it a new game that you have to
shift
your player base over before. This I would more compare to what Dead by Daylight did with its engine overhaul, where they kept the same like game, but they just increased everything's fidelity, increased the audio and video aspects of it, and basically just a full upgrade off the same purchase.
But they're not. By the way, I just noticed your shirt, Bill. I just want to comment. Everybody just stop for 1 second. Bill, can you give us like a little T-pose real quick so we can appreciate the amazingness that is that shirt? That is just a beautiful, beautiful shirt. Yeah, awesome. Appreciate that. All right. So
I just want to point out, you guys have exactly.
Fuck off! Turn your camera off. Fuck off! I don't give a fuck. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, here's my kicker, because you compared it to Dead by Daylight, but Dead by Daylight only did the graphical side. This is also overhauling and adding in new
audio
variables, right? Like new mechanics and things like that. What happens if the community doesn't like that?
I mean, I feel like the community is open to it just because Siege has been around for 10 years. And outside of adding new operators and new maps, which both of those have slowed down significantly, there hasn't been any major things to shake the game up.
Right.
On top of that, as the game's getting older and older and older, things are breaking more. This is a necessity. This is something that if they want to keep Siege around, they have to do this. As far as the new mechanics and stuff go, that's their prerogative to do so. But I think the community is going to welcome that as long as the game functions first,
Right.
and as long as the cheating problem is taken care of.
I
Those are the
think
two big
they-
issues plaguing Siege and have been plaguing Siege for the past 2 years.
They need to
have
add
to
B
get it
hopping,
done.
dude. They need B hopping. They need to
So
jump.
here's the thing. You've made a very valid point about that, and with Sin, and this goes back to the games that we talked about. Like you made a valid point when you said, "Oh well, what if they don't like the update or the new mechanics?" So this is why they make games like going back to Smite 2, going back to what was the other game you mentioned? Sin?
Overwatch,
Overwatch 2. If they would have changed the mechanics completely in Overwatch 1 to basically make a new game for Overwatch like 2, people would have probably hated it. And
They
they'd be
kind of
like,
did,
"Oh, well,
and people did
I was
kind
gonna
of
say
hate
they
it.
kind of
Yeah,
did.
They kind of did, but not to the degree of actually making Overwatch 2. You get what I'm saying? Like splitting the game. The only thing with Ubisoft is, and this is not me trying to punch down, it's just me saying, like, if they weren't in a bad financial crisis, they probably would have tried to charge you for a second game. They probably would have made a whole different game and said, "Hey, well, here's
Well,
Siege 2."
you-
You know what
you-
I'm saying?
They
Like,
might have, but they've been on record multiple times over the past like 5 or so years as people have been asking if Siege 2 is going to exist, that they do not plan on doing a Siege 2. They plan on carrying Siege through 100 plus operators. They don't have they have been on record multiple times saying that there's
they
no
may have
interest in doing that.
they may
but
have said that,
this
but
is Ubisoft.
what was it? Exactly. What was that game? They didn't have to make a second game. What was that game? They took your operators and put them in another game anyway. What was that?
No,
It
no,
wasn't.
no. It's Extraction.
It was
Rainbow Six.
Extraction.
Not
Whatever
Extraction.
that game was, where it was like
Extinction?
mutants and you
The
was
zombies
Extinction.
or whatever.
Yeah, it was
zombies and
Extraction.
whatever.
Extraction.
Okay, whatever.
Extraction.
But they said they wouldn't do that, but technically, in their own way, they still did it. It was a
It was a PvE
you know what I'm
game.
saying? It was
Yeah.
right, PvE game,
No,
but they
but,
took operators from that
I
and put
agree.
it in
They
there.
did, because
I get
that
what you're
was
saying.
originally just like a game mode on Siege, which they played it off like it was just a test for the release of the game. But like if it was like in the game though, why couldn't it have just
we all
been
know they
another
would have
game
did
mode?
something like that. But to be fair,
They
like
could
I
have.
said, if they
Yeah.
update
Yeah.
this and it's good, I'm happy for it because I feel like more games need to crack down on their cheaters. Like they're
Yeah.
allowing
That's-
just
yeah.
too much of that shit. Like the only game to this day that I would say that has been the best when it comes to getting rid of cheaters is Marvel Rivals. I can't gush enough about them getting rid of cheaters in their games.
At this
Like,
point, you need kernel level anti-cheat if you want to stem the cheating problem. And I know there's still a lot of issues with kernel level anti-cheats and whatnot. So
People don't have a problem with
I'm-
kernel level as long as it turns off once the game is closed.
Yeah.
Once the game is
Yeah.
closed,
They
kernel level
said-
goes off. People are fine with it. But
That
otherwise,
was our problems with Valorant.
yeah.
they're adding the new mechanics, like they're adding fire extinguishers that you can shoot and make a temporary smoke screen, gas pipes that you can shoot and have a small explosion happen. You can shoot the sprinkler systems on certain maps to create an audio mask, basically, so that you can approach without being hurt as easily. So they are adding
like
some new
that,
stuff to the game.
Actually, that's kind of cool. That's more.
I would be
like,
surprised if they end up doing you can shoot out the lights type stuff like Splinter Cell, where you can create some like dark areas on
They
the
need to
maps to
bring it.
hide
I
and
mean,
more.
Look,
That's like actually Rainbow Six, like what it is.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
coming
I
down
mean,
to.
look, we're not. It's not like we're not accustomed to this, right? Like, you look at Fortnite. Holy fuck, Fortnite has changed up, down, left, right, gone sideways, does 1,000 different things and whatever. Again, my PP predicts, mark my words, is I think what is going to end up happening is you're going to have Rainbow Six Siege X or whatever they're going to call this, right? And then I just feel like they are going to eventually go and have Rainbow Six Siege Classic, right? And maybe whether they sell it, whether it is a mode
It'll be a
that,
mode.
that are going to go back to.
Mode, yeah.
I foresee that happening because these drastic changes that they are doing, like a lot of that completely changes what people know and have known about these maps. forever, right?
For
So
10 years.
yeah,
Yep.
and so there's a lot of changes there that are happening. We'll see. I mean, I'm interested. I'm for it.
There's also a lot of quality of life stuff. Like you're going to be able to sprint horizontally on rappel now instead of having to do that like slow ass shuffle.
Yeah.
Lot of quality of life stuff that they're promising. We haven't gotten hands on with it yet. So
yeah. All right. Well, for Enigma's sake, everybody, I've got other news things, but
my download just finished. I can click the play button any second.
You have to optimize shaders for the next 30 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man.
We are going to go over our quick hits. Bitch, you can sit right fucking there while we do that, okay? I don't want to hear a fucking word.
I'll just play the game.
Talking about Ubisoft, right into our quick hits. And by the way, for anybody that is new, quick hits, this is where we talk about topics that are, maybe don't have a huge amount of things to mention, but in this case, if we do feel like talking, I'm gonna hit the fucking button, take the cover off. We're gonna spend 40 minutes talking about it, and Enigma can just be happy. In any case, speaking about Ubisoft, physical copies of Assassin's Creed are leaking, and they're already out there. You can go and
go get them with your pierogies.
Yeah, that's so far in advance too.
Yeah,
so.
I mean it's over.
The problem with it leaking the problem with it leaking like that is whatever issues are on that version of the game are going to be all anybody talks about. Even if the game is like a lot better in a day one patch, you're not gonna you've got a full month of hearing people talk about whatever this version of the game feels like. So
the kicker too is that this game is so crucial for Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Like this is the
it's already been super divisive with like online like influencers and stuff. Right. One way or the other with it, it's already got a lot of stigma to it, so they didn't need this to happen. So
yeah, it's I don't know, it just seems like fate is written it in the fucking scrolls that Ubisoft is going. Like I don't know, man. I mean, maybe it was because Tony did PP Predicts and on his very first show and said that Ubisoft sucks ass and they deserve to burn in a dumpster fire.
Actual quote right there.
Real quote. Actually, it was that Ubisoft is no better than the shaved ass crack of a hobo, I think was the proper term that we were.
Fair enough. With tahini.
Yeah, with tahini. You gotta put the tahini on it. That is the only thing that makes it worthy.
That's the only way they're gonna survive.
Yeah. So you can go and get your Assassin's Creed. Obviously, it's on Facebook. Obviously, it's gonna be super overpriced, and obviously, it's gonna have the jank of without the day one patch.
Facebook. What?
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is being offered right now. In fact, I don't.
I would not trust that.
I was really confused about the fucking Facebook comment. I was like, what the fuck?
Let me see if I can see how much this person is selling it for. So they're selling the standard base game for $175. You want to spend $175 on the base game?
Not even close to being.
Yeah.
Janky. Yeah, no.
Yep. All right. Marvel Rivals. The net. I know there's some talk about that where the studio was, letting go of some people and whatever else people were freaking out. Just want to make it very, very clear. The CEO of NetEase said, "Fuck it, I'll close down fucking Marvel Rivals." Because we don't want to pay the fucking Disney license anymore. So that may happen, right? Just. As but to be fair, the Disney license is outrageous. But they're making more money hand over foot. Yeah, PlayStation is saying that putting PlayStation games on PC is almost like printing money, and that came from a former Sony exec.
Holy shit! You don't
what
say.
Did I say?
You don't say.
What did I say? I told you they do it on purpose, bro.
So
way.
hey, maybe, just maybe,
revolutionary concept.
We will we'll get something out. Just Cause's Just Cause's creators new studio said it's kind of hard making games right now and announces that it's incredibly difficult. It's laying off people. Are we shocked? Like, this is sad. I don't understand why people can't learn how to fucking hire people.
Before it's all over with, there's gonna be, mark my words, there's gonna be nothing but maybe 5 at the most, like mainstream games, because these layoffs is getting out of hand. It's like all the fucking time. Every time we come on here, layoff. layoff. Like,
well, yeah, that is season. That's why I got out of this industry. I'm not gonna lie. I talked about it last week. I'll say it again. Anybody that is thinking about getting into the gaming industry, you need to be able to have a stomach for getting laid off, let go, and working for companies that are just going to look at you as a digit, because it is what happens, and that is why I'm no longer in this industry. And it is crazy.
This other, just to go off of the layoff talk, this other company, Bossa, or I don't know if that's a guy or the company, the people who made or are making Lost Skies, it's some co-op survival game. They said that disruption in the game industry is not a phase; it's a fundamental transformation of how games will be made in the future as it lays off more employees. This company is trying to gaslight everybody right now.
I mean, so I think that they're not, I don't think that they're necessarily wrong, because I do think that the industry had a lot of fucking bloat. Like, the industry had a lot of bloat for sure. But I do think that what the underlining tone is, in my eyes, from that is AI. They are basically saying, like, hey, the future is going to be AI. AI are going to make our games. AI is going to fucking do voices.
AIs and
yep. So, you know, that's kind of the underlying tone there.
I mean, in a lot of instances, yes, with it when it comes to like coding and such, maybe, but
when it comes to some
gamers in general, when it comes down to like writing, when it comes down to like voiceover, everything like that, like there was a demo, I can't remember what the name of it was. I was watching Crow Templar play it for the Steam Next Fest, where you could 100% tell that like probably 90% of that game was made by AI, and it was terrible. It was rough. That's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that it is perfect, but I guarantee that AI will be the future of how these companies.
It's going to be a while still.
It's
until it's kind of indistinguishable.
But again, I mean, here's what I say: you burn down a forest, you know, new growth happens. So as we continue to have these massive layoffs, hopefully companies will blossom out of this, that will build better things, and then they eventually get bought out by Microsoft and shut the fuck down.
I think the key to this is again, we talked about it earlier, like the failing upwards, that needs to stop.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
if you have made a game and you bombed it, like the game was not good at all, you were in charge of that, and you fail upward into another game leadership fucking position
to ruin another company.
That's all who you know, man.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Like that, of course the gaming industry is going to get worse and worse because you're not injecting new actual talent into the fucking gaming industry.
I mean, I've said it for the last 148 episodes that the Pre-Patch podcast is open to consulting. I mean, we will do consultant work. I mean, we're pretty good at doing, you know, pre-P predicts. I'm just saying,
you know, Sweet Baby Ray. That's
yeah. What? Oh,
I thought you said Sweet Baby Rays.
That's what I thought. I was like, what are we doing about? We're doing something with barbecue sauce now? I mean, okay, all right, okay. And in the last two bits of this, 2024 Game of the Year contender Balatro is now on Xbox Game Pass. If you have not played Balatro, please use your Game Pass to go play Balatro. It is a phenomenal fucking game. Phenomenal game.
Buy it.
I mean, yes,
I would just buy it to support the creator.
I mean, yes, I'm just saying
Xbox.
if you're
don't support Microsoft, why would you buy Xbox?
I'm just saying if you already fucking own it, you can try it and then go buy it, you bitches. God damn it. Jesus fuck. You can't say one fucking word without getting policed here.
Go buy Avowed for all that matters. If you want to support Microsoft that bad, I don't know.
Yeah, I hate it here. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to host anymore. I'm out. All right. Among Us VR is now allowing players to play the game without VR. You can go play Among Us 3D. Is anybody still playing Among Us? If you are, guys, it's past 2020. We're 5 years over that shit. Guys, find something else to do. In any way, shape, or form, that's the whole show. Do any of you douchebags have anything else that you want to sign off for before I close down the show?
No, but I think we should
so I can play goddamn Monster Hunter Wild.
Let's just talk for a little bit.
What if I just do this and I put this over your fair? I'm just gonna do this.
And honestly,
Tony, you're a victim of this. Sorry, hold on one sec. There we go. I'll just do that. There.
We don't even need an ending screen on this one. We didn't come in with the intro.
Yeah, we don't even get. You know, you're not even gonna get outro music. We're out of here. But everybody, y'all can see us back in 2 weeks. We're at Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Catch us wherever podcasts are listened to. We're gone. Bye.